Hello everybody and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Well Pond Baseball Softball Complex in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the second game of a three-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm Austin Falco, bringing you all the action here with WCBN Sports. Yesterday we saw Indiana take the first game of this series by a score of 1-0, very low-scoring game. Today, expected to be a little bit different. The weather more favorable for some offensive conditions. However, for the Indiana Hoosiers, they're going to have to go up against a tough pitcher, the Wolverines' number 2 pitcher in Ryan Newtoff. Newtoff coming off an outing against Oklahoma last week, Saturday, that saw him go 6 innings and give up 3 runs, only 2 of them earned, only 4 hits. He struck out 6. On the season, he sits at 4-1. He picked up the win in that ball game. Has a .478 ERA through 9 games started. In his 49 innings pitched, he's struck out 47 and walked 21. The Indiana lineup he'll be facing today starts off at the top with second baseman Tony Butler. Behind him is the left fielder Craig Dedelo. Batting third and playing third is Luke Miller. Matt Lloyd is the designated hitter. He bats fourth. Batting fifth is the right fielder Logan Sowers. In the sixth spot is the first baseman Matt Gorski. Ryan Feynman catches and bats seventh. Jeremy Houston is the shortstop, batting eighth. And rounding out the lineup is Laren Eustace, the center fielder. And Tony Butler steps to the plate and takes strike one from Newtoff. First pitch today at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Time. The second pitch from Newtoff misses for a ball. It's 1-1 on the second baseman for the Hoosiers. Third pitch bounces in there for ball 2. Counts now at 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, Tony Butler yesterday, the big difference in the ball game, hit a home run, a solo home run to lead off the game on the very second pitch of the ball game. Proved to be the difference. There was some excellent pitching for both teams from there on out. The fourth pitch he sees from Newtoff misses high. This time he's ahead in the count 3-1 now against the Wolverine right-hander. The 3-1 pitch from Newtoff hit high in the air toward the right side. The second baseman Kerr ranging over now into the outfield. Makes the play for out number 1. So Butler starting off a little bit differently than he did yesterday when he led off with the home run. This time popping out to second for the very first out of the ball game. That'll bring up the left fielder Craig Dedelo. Dedelo leads the Indiana Hoosiers in home runs with 9. Hoosiers lead the Big Ten altogether in home runs. Tony Butler was an unexpected contribution. Was his first home run of the season yesterday. So this one is tapped towards first. Bivens will make the play on a hop and take it to himself to the bag for the second out of the inning. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning, bringing up the third baseman Luke Miller. Miller, another powerful hitter in this Indiana lineup. Really 2 through 5, maybe 2 through 6. A lot of power in this Indiana lineup. You see why they're able to hit so many home runs. Miller, the big right-hander, steps in there. Big swing and a miss here from the first pitch he sees from Newtoff. Brings the count to 0-1. On the season, Miller bats a solid .290. Has himself 6 home runs and 7 doubles to go along with it. As the second pitch he sees is fouled back behind the plate, over the press box and out of play. Gonna bring the count to 0-2. So promising start here for Ryan Newtoff. We can set down the third baseman Miller. Stares into his catcher Harrison Wenson, now gonna step off and get a new sign before attacking Miller with the 0-2 pitch. He winds and fires. Breaking ball misses low and away for a ball. Brings the count to 1-2. Newtoff trying to get Miller to chase there. Off the plate away. Another 1-2 pitch here. Big swing and a miss out of Miller. And that's the third out of the inning. Indiana goes down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. After 1/2 inning, we have no score here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Indiana 0, Michigan 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. For the Indiana Hoosiers on the mound today is Brian Hobby, and he'll be hard-pressed to answer the outing we saw yesterday out of Jonathan Stever. Yesterday, Stever was able to go 7 innings, did not allow a run, and struck out 7. Brian Hobby on the season, this will be his 10th start. He's at 2-3 with a 5.87 ERA. Does have 2 complete games under his belt though. In 53 2/3 innings pitched, he's only struck out 27 batters, but also only walked 11. So relies a lot on those balls in play. And when hitters put the ball in play against him, they hit .292 on the year. He'll face a Michigan lineup that looks different for the first time in a long time. The normal leadoff man, second baseman Akeo Thomas, out today. We saw him yesterday have to leave the ball game in the 3rd inning due to what appeared to be a left hand or left wrist injury. The Wolverine lineup looks as so. Leading off today is the center fielder, Johnny Slater. The shortstop, Michael Berdar, bats second. Third baseman today is Drew Lugbauer. He bats in the 3 spot. Left fielder Miles Lewis bats 4th. Batting 5th and playing first base is Jake Bivens. The designated hitter for the Wolverines today is Nick Poirier. He bats 6th. Jonathan Engelman, the right fielder, bats 7th. Jimmy Kerr getting the start in place of Akeo Thomas. Bats in the 8th spot. He plays 2nd. And rounding out the lineup is the Wolverine catcher Harrison Wenson. Johnny Slater will step up to the plate, face the right-hander Brian Hobby, and get the action going here in the bottom half of the 1st inning. Slater coming in one of the hottest Wolverine hitters despite only a 1-for-4 day yesterday. Had 4 doubles back on Tuesday against Michigan State. He taps the first pitch he sees over towards first. First baseman Gorski makes the play on a couple hops, takes it to the bag himself. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 1st. That'll bring up the shortstop, Michael Berdar. The shortstop, number 9, Michael Berdar. Berdar yesterday, a 2-for-4 day. The only Wolverine in the lineup with multiple hits. Both of those hits were singles. First pitch he sees here from Hobby, misses low and away for a ball, 1-0 count. The Wolverine shortstop normally entrenched in that 3 spot, but with Akeo Thomas not being able to play today, just about everybody in the order gets bumped up a spot, aside from the catcher Harrison Wenson. Second pitch Berdar sees here is in there for a strike, 1-1. Hobby winds and fires here. The 1-1 pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Berdar does not agree with home plate umpire David Condon. But ultimately, David Condon's opinion is the only one that matters. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch now. Misses low for a ball. Evens the count up at 2-2. Hobby, a big right-hander out there for the Indiana Hoosiers, stands at 6'4", 227. Junior out of Springfield, Illinois. 2-2 pitch here to Berdar is fouled down the left field line and bounces off the protective wall down that left field line. Count's going to remain 2-2 rather on the senior right-hander for the Wolverines. Berdar gets in there, stands low in that crouch in the right-handed batter's box. And another 2-2 pitch from Hobby. Hit in the air towards left center. Left fielder Didolo, center fielder Eustace converging. Eustace calls him off and makes the grab in that left center field alley for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here, and that'll bring up the powerful left-hander for the Wolverines, Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer yesterday, 1-for-4. Left a couple runners on base. Did not strike out though. Something that tends to be the problem when he does not have a prolific offensive day. First pitch from Hobby here. Big swing and a miss from Lugbauer. Brings the count to no balls and 1 strike. Lugbauer on the season has his average up to .295 and leads the Wolverine team with 11 home runs, tied for second in the Big Ten. The second pitch he sees from Hobby misses low and away for a ball, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hobby gets a sign, working quickly, winds up in the pitch. Off-speed pitch misses high and away. Gonna bring the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the Wolverine third baseman. Hobby winds again here for the 2-1 pitch. Hit high in the air to the left side. That one's going to get out of play and off near Yost Ice Arena. Just misses. Clipping some pedestrians here on some bikes wheeling through the area. Going to bring the count to 2-2 on Lugbauer. 2-2 pitch from Hobby. Called strike 3 on a breaking ball that started outside and came right over the heart of the plate. Throws Lugbauer, and a 1-2-3 inning there from Hobby to answer Newtoff. So far after 1, not much going on. We remain scoreless here between Indiana and Michigan. You're listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Baseball. A lot of color on the field today. Michigan wearing their normal Saturday gear, the bright maize jerseys, the blue numbering, blue lettering, Michigan across the chest. The blue hats with the maize M on top, of course. Along with those white pants with the maize and blue stripe down the side and the high blue socks. Meanwhile, Indiana going with their bright red. It's hard to really call it crimson. It's a very bright red they're wearing today. In white are the numbers on the back and the Indiana sprawled across the chest. Also have a couple white stripes on each of the sleeves. They're also going with white pants with a red stripe that runs, couple red stripes that run all the way down the pant leg. So a very bright day here on a bright and sunny day here at Ray Fisher Stadium. A much different tune than we saw yesterday. Yesterday a little miserable, a little cloudy outside, a little cold. Today a much different story as we sit here in beautiful sunny weather. Temperature on the day coming in at approximately 60-ish degrees. It's about 57. Expected to get up to 60 during the game today. The leadoff hitter for Indiana in the bottom half, or the top half of the second inning, is going to be the designated hitter Matt Lloyd. Lloyd, the powerful left-hander, steps in there, and the first pitch he sees from Newtoff just misses off the outside corner for a ball, 1-0. And we saw home plate umpire David Condon yesterday. Had a rather wide strike zone. Pitchers were able to use that to their advantage. Not so much on that pitch. This breaking ball from Newtoff is in there for a strike, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike on the designated hitter Lloyd. 1-1 pitch from Newtoff. Just misses off that outside corner again. Newtoff looks none too pleased out there, but the count is now 2-1 on Matt Lloyd. Newtoff always likes to work quickly out there. The 2-1 pitch from him is in there for a strike. This one does catch the outside corner. It's going to even the count up at 2-2. Matt Lloyd, probably the Indiana's best hitter, bats a team leading .324 on the season. This one is lined towards left field. That one is going to stay fair and get all the way to the wall. Miles Lewis fields it on a hop off the wall. The throw into second, not in time, as Lloyd slides in there safely with a leadoff double in the second inning. So Indiana looking to make some noise early with a runner in scoring position for the right fielder Logan Sowers. Just as I was saying, Matt Lloyd, probably Indiana's best hitter, batting in that 4 spot for them. He answers with a double off the left field wall, that big brick wall over in left field. Got to the wall on a hop, and really nice play there by Miles Lewis to get back to the wall, field that ball, and made it A pretty close play at second. Didn't think he had a chance at first, but a really nice job by the Wolverine left fielder. And now Logan Sauer stepping in there. Batting .255 with runners in scoring position today. He's got one out there on second. This one is hit high and deep towards left field. That one is ranging back to the wall and gone! A 2-run home run by Logan Sauers. And Indiana leads 2-0 here in the top of the second inning. Indiana, the Big Ten's leading home run hitters, already with 2 in the first 2 games of this series. And lead early on here again at Ray Fisher Stadium, this time by a score of 2-0. Sauers with his 6th home run of the year, and RBIs number 24 and 25 for him. Now Ryan Newtoff will look to rebound here against the first baseman Matt Gorski. Gorski squares it around to bunt and whiffs on the pitch. Count, no balls and 1 strike on the big first baseman for Indiana. Newtoff working quickly, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, grounded back up the middle for a base hit. So 3 straight hits here to start the inning for Indiana against Ryan Newtoff. We'll see if we get a mound visit of some sort from one of the Wolverine coaches here, whether that's Eric Bakich or pitching coach Sean Kenny. Does not appear to be any movement coming out of that Michigan dugout. Ryan Newtoff looking to be struggling here in the top of the second. All 3 of the first batters have reached, and Indiana's got themselves a 2-0 lead. Here comes the catcher, Ryan Feynman. Feynman showing bunt early, now pulls back. The big swing and a miss here at the breaking ball from Newtoff puts him down in the count, 0-1. Feynman yesterday the beneficiary of a pretty rare call that you see in baseball. Awarded first base on a fielder's interference call after Oliver Jaski ranging over to first try to field a throw from the first baseman Bivens. Bivens instead took it himself, and Feynman ended up being awarded the base as Jaski was in the way. This time Feynman pops one to the right side in foul territory. Bivens ranges over near that block M in front of the Indiana dugout and makes the grab pretty easily for the first out here in the top half of the second. That will bring up the shortstop for Indiana, Jeremy Houston. Houston yesterday didn't exactly make his presence known at the plate. Had himself a golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts against the likes of Oliver Jaski and Tommy Henry. Did make his presence felt in the field, though, making a couple of spectacular plays, including a diving stop over the middle and a couple nice plays in the hole, showing off that strong arm of his. Pickoff throw from Newtoff over to first, chases Gorski back. Gorski, despite being a first baseman, a position you don't normally pair with stolen bases, 8 for 10 on the season. As Houston takes the first pitch in there, a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. The bottom half of this Indiana lineup, very youthful. Over on first base, Gorski, he's a freshman. The catcher that just popped out, Feynman's a sophomore. And Jeremy Houston here, another freshman at the plate. They pick off throw, chases Gorski back again. Newtoff very aware of Gorski's 80% stolen base percentage over there at first base. Gorski takes a moderate lead. He's going on the pitch. This one is hit high in the air towards center. Slater ranging back. He will make the play as Gorski trots back to first base safely. And there are now 2 outs in the top half of the second inning. That'll bring up the center fielder, Laren Eustace. Speaking of defensive prowess, we saw Eustace yesterday track down a ball that he had no business getting to, really, in the left center field gap, robbing Miles Lewis of what appeared to be a sure double. Ended up laying out in that left center field gap, making up for his 0 for 2 day at the plate, just as Houston did before him. This time he grounds one right back at the middle, hard hit shot for a base hit. That one's going to get into center field. And now there are 2 on with 2 outs here as Indiana cycles back up to the top of their order with the leadoff hitter, Tony Butler, coming to the plate.
The second baseman, number 4, Tony Butler.
Butler, last inning in the first, lead off the ball game, popped out to second. Of course, as I mentioned before, led off yesterday's game with a big solo home run, the difference in the ball game. It was only his first of the year, but his 10th extra base hit. He does have the ability to drive one into a gap and possibly bring home 2 more runs here with the speedy Eustace over on first, getting a jump with 2 outs. First pitch to the at-bat from Newtoff is tapped foul behind the plate, gets back to the screen. Count is no balls and 1 strike on the second baseman for the Hoosiers. Butler stands in there. Knees bent pretty solidly, almost looks like he's sitting down when he gets in his stance. Waves that bat above his right shoulder and watches the second pitch from Newtoff catch the inside corner for a strike, 0-2. So after giving up 4 hits in the inning, Newtoff with a chance here to get out of it, only allowing 2 runs on that big 2-run home run. He comes set for the 0-2 pitch to Butler. Here it comes. Breaking ball, swing and a miss for strike 3. And that'll end the inning. But Indiana does get on the board here with a big 2-run home run from Logan Sowers after an inning and a half here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Indiana 2, Michigan nothing. You're listening to WCBN Sports Radio, broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast of Michigan Baseball. For Michigan here in the bottom half of the second, looking to answer the 2-spot Indiana just put up. They will counter with the likes of Miles Lewis, Jake Bivens, and Nick Poirier. See, 3 batters stepping up into that left-handed batter's box. Miles Lewis, a switch hitter. The Wolverine lineup really scattered with lefties. Normally a rather lefty-heavy lineup. Have an extra one in there with Kerr at second base. That makes 5 lefties in the lineup, including, and you throw in also the switch hitter in Miles Lewis, who will bat from the left-handed side against the right-hander Hobby. Altogether, Hobby going to see 6 out of the 9 guys from the left-handed batter's box. On the surface, appears to be advantage Michigan as they avoid that dreaded righty-righty matchups, lefty-lefty matchups. The righty-righty matchup not normally as pronounced, but don't have to worry about those lefty-lefty matchups that we saw yesterday. The Hoosiers were able to exploit in the late innings. Hoosiers yesterday throwing out left-hander Tim Herron as Miles Lewis lines the first pitch he sees from Hobby into left for a base hit. So Michigan leading off with a base hit of their own here in the second. Again, looking to answer that 2-spot Indiana put up on the top half of the frame. That will bring up the first baseman, Jake Bivens, for the Wolverines. Bivens yesterday 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Talked about it before. One of the few Wolverines that seems to be slumping a bit on the season, but looking much better as of late. His batting average boosted up about 20 points as of a few weeks ago. This one he bunts towards the pitcher's mound. The pitcher Hobby makes the play and throws to first just in time. Got Lewis by a half a step over there. First base umpire Joe Hospica on the call. And it looked to be the right one from up here, so that'll go down as a sacrifice bunt for Bivens. So Lewis moves up to second. And Nick Poirier will step to the plate.
Number 28, Nick Poirier.
Poirier, one of the Wolverines' best hitters all season long. Slumping a bit here. He went 0 for 4 yesterday, and for the last week or so, doesn't quite look as comfortable at the plate as he normally does. With his prowess up there, can snap out of a slump in a hurry. He watches the first pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. So Hobby early on here, keeping the Wolverine hitters off balance with mixing his speeds between that breaking ball and that fastball. using that breaking ball to get ahead early in the count, working backwards a bit. The 0-1 pitch from him to Poirier is lined back to the screen. Lewis was running on the play. Looked to be a bit of a hit and run there put on by head coach Eric Bakich. But Lewis is going to have to trot back to second as Poirier now down in the count 0-2. Mentioned Poirier slumping maybe a bit here, but his average still sits at .310 on the season and still getting on base at a .431 clip. He stands in the left-handed batter's box, and the 0-2 pitch from the right-hander Hobby. Misses high and away for a ball. Going to bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Poirier batting .294 with runners in scoring position on the year. Has that runner in scoring position with Miles Lewis out at second. The 1-2 pitch here. Misses low and in. Now and gets past the catcher Feynman and back to the screen. Lewis will trot over to third. And now a 2-2 count on the designated hitter Nick Poirier. And a fly ball here that with moderate depth to the outfield should score the Wolverines' first run of the game, their first run of the series. It looked like Hobby went with a breaking ball. It missed low and in, and the catcher Feynman just couldn't quite corral it. It bounced off his glove high in the air back to the screen. The 2-2 pitch now. This is grounded up the middle. Base hit past the diving Houston. And Michigan is on the board here in the series. An RBI single from Nick Poirier cuts the Indiana lead in half. It's 2-1 now in favor of the Hoosiers. That'll bring up the right fielder Jonathan Engelman, trying to continue what's become a bit of a rally here for the Wolverines in the bottom of the second. So Poirier, after that 0-for-4 day yesterday, comes through in his very first at bat today with a nice ground ball up the middle for that base hit, RBI base hit. Jonathan Engelman looking to move him over at the very least here with only 1 out in the inning. Hoosiers playing at double play depth with Poirier on first. Saw yesterday the Hoosiers able to turn a couple critical double plays just when it looked like the Wolverines had something going. Seemed like they were hitting the ball right at the second baseman Butler. Breaking ball first pitch to Engelman, misses maybe a bit high, maybe a bit inside. Not quite sure where it missed from up here, but according to home plate umpire David Condon, it did miss, and that's a ball. The count 1-0. On the right fielder, Engelman. Poirier over at first, 5 for 7 on the season with stolen bases. Getting an aggressive secondary lead out there as the second pitch to Engelman misses high for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. And that'll warrant a visit from the catcher Feynman as he trots out to the mound to talk with his junior right-hander. Feynman, when he trots out there, almost dwarfed by Hobby. Feynman's not exactly a short guy. He stands at 6 foot, 215 for a catcher. Solid size, but Hobby, just that 6'4" frame, makes him look small out there. So he trots back behind the plate, and the 2-0 pitch, a breaking ball, misses low and away. And Engelman in the driver's seat now, up 3-0 in the count. Hobby leans down to get his sign, rests that glove on his left knee, just bent over and dangles that arm out to his side. Comes set with the glove at his waist and fires the 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, catches the low inside corner. Count now 3-1. Engelman still in the driver's seat here, looking for something he can drive with a 3-1 hitter's count. Again, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Wolverines have pushed across 1 to shorten the Indiana lead to 2-1. This ball is bounced towards third. The third baseman Miller waits back, makes the play, and does not have a throw. That ball bounced high in the air. Miller trying to decide whether he should try to field it or see if it went foul. Ultimately, it did stay fair By the time that ball came down out of the air off the large hop on the Ray Fisher Stadium turf, Miller didn't have a play, so that'll go down as an RBI single, or rather an infield single for Jonathan Engelman as Poirier moves up to second on the play. And now here comes the second baseman for the day for the Wolverines, Jimmy Kerr. Saw Kerr come in yesterday and replace Akeo Thomas. Ended up going 1 for 3 with a sharp single in the very first at bat he had in that ball game. So it looks like we're going to get a mound visit here. Can't quite tell which Hoosiers coach it is. Either head coach Chris Lamonis or perhaps pitching coach, assistant head coach Kyle Bunn. He's wearing that overcoat type of material. The same material you would get on like a raincoat. It stretches just a bit longer than your jersey on the arms. It doesn't need to be tucked in. Normal coach's gear there is home plate umpire David Condon out to the mound to break things up. He'll send the Indiana coach back to the dugout ahead of this at bat from Jimmy Kerr. If the Wolverines can get some impact here out of Kerr, it would be huge for their chances of winning this game and perhaps being able to stay afloat as long as Akeo Thomas is unable to play. You can see Akeo Thomas down in the dugout. Jersey on that top step. See first pitch to Kerr. Misses outside here from Hobby. Count 1-0. Akeo Thomas on that top step with the play calling sheet in his hand. On top of things, cheering on his replacement Kerr. 1-0 pitch. A breaking ball in there for a strike. Nice pitch there from Hobby to take something off. And catch Kerr looking. 1-1 the count now on the Wolverine sophomore. Kerr out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Waits the 1-1 pitch from Hobby. And catches the outside corner for a strike. Look like maybe a two-seamer moving away from the left-handed hitter Kerr. And Hobby in control now here. Trying to work out of a jam with runners on first and second and only one out in the inning. He leans over to get his sign. Now comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on with by Kerr and foul off to the left side. This one's going to get out of play off near the Wolverine bullpen. And the count remains 1-2. Kerr on the season after that 1 for 3 day yesterday, batting .222 in 45 at-bats. Does have himself 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run, as well as 5 RBIs on the season. So this one is lined towards left center field. This one is going to get down for at least a double. 1 run is in. Engelman held at second. That's an RBI double for Jimmy Kerr. The Wolverines have even things up here in the bottom half of the second. So a great piece of hitting there by Jimmy Kerr. Went the other way with the 1-2 pitch and drove it in that left center field gap. Tacks on his 6th RBI of the season as the replacement second base for the Wolverines making an impact here early on. And we say that 2-2 with Harrison Wenson stepping in with a couple runners on base, trying to break the tie early on. Wenson yesterday coming off an 0 for 3 day in which he recorded the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. Obviously looking to improve on that effort today. A lot of times the pitch to look for in a Wenson at bat is that first pitch. He's normally looking fastball and gets off speed. This time gets a fastball and lines this one deep to left. Way out of here, but way foul as well. As Wenson amped up for that one. It was either a fastball that he was really looking for and got a head on it, or perhaps a change up, a straight change from Hobby and had Wenson way out in front of it. But a long blast ends up being just a long, loud strike. And Wenson down in the count now, 0-1. Second pitch from Hobby. Fastball in there for a strike. Brings the count to 0-2. Quite the swing there as a blast, or quite the swing of momentum there. As the blast from Wenson results in a long, loud strike. And then Hobby fires a fastball on the low outside corner for a strike. Put things at 0-2. Comes set for the 0-2 pitch. Wenson does not chase the high fastball. There was a check swing, but the appeal to first base umpire Joel Hospica said he did not go, so the count now 1-2 on the big Wolverine catcher. Wenson batting 200 on the season, 208 with runners in scoring position. He's got a couple of those guys out there right now on second and third. Big swing and a miss here on 1-2. Sets down Wenson for the second out of the inning. So now there will be two gone as the Wolverines cycle back up to the top of the lineup with Johnny Slater striding to the plate. Slater getting his second look at Hobby on the day. Back in the first, tapped out to the first baseman Gorski. Slater, however, bats .326 on the season. With 2 outs, bats .436. Great 2-out hitting from him as he taps this one on a check swing back behind the plate for a foul ball. It's going to be 0-1 now on the Wolverine center fielder. Slater, who has looked just absolutely locked in over the past week or so, aside from the quiet game last night, stands in there with a chance to break the 2-2 tie we currently sit in the bottom of the second. This one is lined straight back to the screen as Slater was right on that pitch. Just couldn't quite get enough of the bat head on it. And the count now 0-2. So now, like Newtoff in the top half of the inning, Hobby with a chance to get out of here, only allowing 2 and stranding a couple runners on. The 0-2 pitch. This one misses high and away for a ball. Trying to get Slater to chase with the fastball. That one missed a little wild there. Not really much of a chance for Slater to chase. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slater sits at 35 RBIs on the season. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Slater for strike 3. So Hobby sets down the last 2 batters he faces in the inning to get out of a jam. And just as Newtoff did before him, though, he does get up 2 runs on an RBI single from Nick Ployer and an RBI double from Jimmy Kerr. After 2 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, we're tied at 2-2 between the Wolverines and Hoosiers. You're listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. I'm Austin Falco, bringing you all the action here from a sunny, beautiful Ray Fisher Stadium in Ann Arbor. A great day for baseball out here.
It looks like we're going to have a winner.
Crowd seems to agree. We're about a little more than halfway filled here at Ray Fisher Stadium. A nice turnout on Earth Day here. Have the Earth Day rallies going on back on campus. Saw plenty of people walking around this morning with their Earth Day signs. Great cause to come out, spend a day outside, and really just a great day to do so. Whether you're at an Earth Day rally or at the ballpark, never a bad time to enjoy weather like this when you get it here in April. So far, both teams here, at least the offenses, very much enjoying this weather compared to yesterday. Yesterday, 1 total run in the game, the leadoff home run out of Tony Butler. Today already, both offensive scratched across 2. And it'll be Craig Didolo for the Indiana offense, leading things off in the top half of the 3rd inning. Didolo, the left-handed hitting left fielder for the Hoosiers. Grounded out to the first baseman Jake Bivens in his first at-bat. This time he watches, looks like a slider from Newtoff in there for a strike, 0-1. Newtoff always likes to work quick, the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss here on the changeup from Newtoff, brings the count to 0-2. Newtoff is at his best when he's throwing strikes and working in that rhythm that he really likes to work at. He's doing so now. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, misses just high. Despite a frame from Harrison, Wenson did not get the call from home plate umpire David Condon. Looked like the correct call from up here. And the count now 1-2. Called strike 3 on the 1-2 pitch from Newtoff. Sets down Didolo. That's Newtoff's third strikeout of the game. And there's one out here in the top half of the third inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Luke Miller, for the Hoosiers. Miller, the first of Newtoff's 3 strikeout victims on the day, back in the first inning. As Newtoff's first pitch here is a breaking ball hit high and deep towards left center field. Slater giving chase. He's at the wall. Gone! Long home run from Luke Miller. His 7th home run of the season. And Indiana reclaims the lead from the Wolverines. It's 3-2 here in the top of the third. So Miller obviously was not looking first pitch fastball there. He got himself a breaking ball that was hanging up high in the zone. He did not waste it, depositing it over that left field wall in the power alley here at Ray Fisher Stadium for the second home run of the day for the Hoosiers. Put them up 3-2. Now Newtoff's first pitch to Matt Lloyd misses outside for a ball, 1-0. This is the part of the lineup Newtoff had trouble with back last inning. The 2-0 pitch misses outside for a ball, brings the count to 2-0. Lloyd led things off in the second with a double off down the left field line off that left field wall. And the on-deck hitter Logan Sowers drove him in with a 2-run home run. The breaking ball on 2-0 is in there for a strike from Newtoff. 2 balls and 1 strike now on the Indiana designated hitter Matt Lloyd. The 2-1 pitch now. Another breaking ball. This one hit high in the air and deep towards right center field. Slater chasing over again, and that ball is gone. Back-to-back jacks now for the Indiana Hoosiers. And just like that, they reclaim their 2-run lead. It's 4-2 now in favor of Indiana in the top of the third inning. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Indiana leads the Big Ten in home runs, and they are not disappointing here. 3 home runs in the last 2 innings. 2-run homer by the hitter currently striding up to the deck, Logan Sowers, just last inning in the second. Now back-to-back homers out of the 3 and 4 hitters, Luke Miller and Matt Lloyd. Accounted for all 4 runs the Hoosiers have put up. They hold a 2-run lead over Michigan. 4-2 here on the top of the third inning. As there's some action down in that Wolverine bullpen, with Newtoff appearing to have a bit of trouble here retiring these powerful Indiana hitters. Now Sowers stands in there for his second at-bat of the day and takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch now from Newtoff. Catches that low outside corner again for a strike. Counting out no balls and 2 strikes. Sowers looked like he wanted to offer at that, but by the time he started to get the bat around, ball was already past him. Was not looking for that fastball from Newtoff, I guess. Now the 0-2 pitch from Newtoff. Fastball low and away again. This time Sowers drives it deep down the right field line. Engelman ranging over near the line. Cannot make the grab on a sliding attempt, but this one lands about a foot foul. So Wolverines dodging a bullet there, as that one just missed getting into that right field corner. It looked like it bounced over that protective wall for the Indiana bullpen. So it would have been what looks to be a ground rule double. Instead, goes down as a long strike, and the count's going to remain 0-2 now on the Indiana right fielder Sowers. Sowers now steps up to the plate. That right-handed batter's box, another 0-2 pitch from Newtoff. This one's lined towards right field again. Engelman ranging back. He's going to have room, though, and makes the grab. We get another hard hit ball from Indiana. This time finds a glove of a Wolverine fielder. And there are 2 outs in the top of the third inning.
The first baseman, number 7, Matt Gorski.
And Newtoff not being able to avoid the barrel of the Indiana bats so far. We've seen several hard hit balls, including 3 so far in the inning, the 2 home runs and that long line out there. As the first pitch here, the first baseman Gorski is hit high and fouled on the right field line into that Indiana bullpen. Count 0-1 on him. Gorski back in that second inning, singled after the home run from Sowers. His second look at Newtoff on the day as he awaits the 0-1 pitch. Fastball catches the low inside corner for a strike. 0-2 now. So once again, Newtoff just trying to get out of the inning here. Ended last inning with a strikeout, into both the first 2 innings with a strikeout, in prime position here at the 0-2. Fastball misses just off the plate away. Newtoff didn't appear to like the call. He's already striding off the mound. But the count now stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Newtoff winds and fires. This one bounced in the dirt. Nice stop by Harrison Wentz behind the plate. But Gorski does not offer at the chase pitch. And that's going to even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Newtoff gets his sign, winds and fires the 2-2 pitch. Just misses low. It's a little bit of a flinch there from home plate umpire David Condon. Looked like he was ready to ring up Gorski, then thought better of it. The count runs full. 3-2 pitch now. This one's a called strike 3 at the knees on the fastball from Newtoff. So Newtoff ends the third just as he ended the first 2 innings with a strikeout, but not before Indiana gets 2 more runs on 2 back-to-back home runs from Luke Miller and Matt Lloyd through 2.5 here in Ann Arbor. The Hoosiers lead the Wolverines by a score of 4-2. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball on WCBN Sports. And really not the best sign for the Wolverines to see Ryan Newtoff getting knocked around a bit. Seems like every Hoosier in the lineup is making some hard contact against him. Very different story than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, only one Hoosier hitter, that was Tony Butler, was really able to get anything going against Oliver Jaski for the Wolverines, and then his reliever Tommy Henry. Different story here today, and Wolverines are hoping they have a different story offensively as well. Able to scratch across 2 last inning against the Indiana right-hander Brian Hobby after being mystified yesterday by the likes of Jonathan Stever and Tim Herron. For the Wolverines here, looking to answer those 2 runs Indiana just put up in the top half of the inning. It'll be the shortstop Michael Berdard, the third baseman Drew Lugbauer, and the left fielder Miles Lewis. So it would normally be the 3-4-5 part of the lineup for the Wolverines. Is it the 2, 3, and 4 slots today? With Mikhail Thomas missing the ballgame. He didn't quite get a good look at it, but it appeared Thomas's left hand that looked to be injured yesterday. I'm not sure if it was taped up or what, but definitely see something on that left hand in the brief glimpse I got of it earlier on. It will be the shortstop Berdard leading things off here in the bottom of the third. First pitch he sees from Hobby is in there for a strike. Count 0-1. Berdard back in the first inning, flew out to left center. Center fielder Eustace ranged over and made the play. Second pitch, the at-bat here bounces in there for a ball. Going to even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And Hobby, like Newtoff, appears to work quickly. Not quite as quick as Newtoff. Very few pitchers do. As this fastball misses just off the plate away. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the Wolverine shortstop. So home plate umpire David Condon appears to be tightening up the strike zone from yesterday, not quite calling the corners as generously as he was. 2-1 pitch. This one bounces in there for a ball. Brings the count to 3-1 now. Berdard in the driver's seat here to either drive something or at the very least get on base here to start the inning. Try to even things up yet again. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Berdard. Looked like got a foul tip according to the home plate umpire David Condon. Gonna bring the count full. Berdard got a fastball, maybe belt high, maybe a little bit higher. Took a hack at it, just couldn't quite get the bat through quick enough. Payoff pitch now. Big swing and a miss here at 1 low and in. As Hobby gets Berdard a chase, and there's now 1 out in the bottom half of the third. That'll bring up the third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. So after commenting pregame about how Brian Hobby didn't really appear to be much of a strikeout pitcher, only had 28 strikeouts in over 50 innings pitched. He's already got 4 here today in the middle of the third inning. The first pitch to Lugbauer, an off-speed pitch, is in there for a strike. 0-1. Lugbauer back in the first, struck out looking against Hobby on a surprise fastball, or rather a breaking ball. As here comes the fastball. Big swing and a miss from Lugbauer. Brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes on the big Wolverine left-hander. Hobby winds in the 0-2 pitch. Lugbauer did not chase there as that ball bounced in the dirt. Thought about it for a second. The bat started to come around, but not quite a check swing. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time called at the plate by Lugbauer as he steps out for a second and regroups before facing a 1-2 pitch from Brian Hobby. And here it comes. This one bounces low and away in the dirt. Looked like maybe a changeup there out from Hobby. Did not get Lugbauer to chase, and the count now 2-2. Hobby takes a breath out there, gets his sign, winds, and the 2-2 pitch. This one again misses low. Brings the count full, so another full count here to start the inning for the Wolverines. Hoping this one goes a little more in their favor after Bernard just struck out. This time it's Drew Lugbauer waiting the payoff pitch. Called strike 3, so Lugbauer set down looking for the second time today. The 5th strikeout of the day for Brian Hobby. There are now 2 outs in the inning here. And Miles Lewis will look to salvage the bottom of the third for the Wolverines. He batted just last inning against Hobby. Lined a first pitch single to left field to start the second inning. Looking to start a 2-out rally here and even things up as the Wolverines trail the Hoosiers 4-2. This one is lined. Diving stab by the first baseman Gorski as he was diving towards that first base line. Lewis robbed yet again.
All right, fans, get out of your seats.
I've got that as the second time in 2 days that Lewis been robbed by a diving grab. Look at the extra bases. That one looked to be ticketed down the line, but the diving stab by the first baseman Gorski gets Indiana out of the inning. So after 3 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, Indiana leads Michigan by a score of 4-2, looking to take the first 2 games of this 3-game set. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. For the Wolverines, it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here as Ryan Newtoff's day is done after he struggled and gave us a lot of hard contact against the Hoosiers. The new pitcher for the Wolverines appears to be Alec Bernard. Bernard started last week against Oklahoma, had himself a great outing. The Wolverines took that game by a score of 6-2. In that outing last week Sunday, Bernard was able to pitch 6 innings, only gave up 1 run in the ball game, only gave up 2 hits, ended up striking out 5 and walking 2 against the Sooners. We'll get to put together a similar performance here today, try to keep the Wolverines in it. They trail by 2 headed into the 4th inning against the Hoosiers. He will face Ryan Feynman, Jeremy Houston, and Laren Eustace here to start things off in the top half of the 4th inning. Bernard's numbers on the year. He's appeared in 11 games and started 6. He's 5-1 with a 3.12 ERA. First pitch he throws here to Feynman, misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Really, numbers don't really do him much justice. He was extremely good against Oklahoma last week Sunday. Second pitch here, catches the outside corner for a strike, evens things up at 1 ball and 1 strike on the Hoosier catcher, Ryan Feynman. Another pitch, trying to catch that outside corner, does not quite do so. Brings the count to 2-1 now. So pounding that outside corner is Renard here out of the pen. Goes right back to that outside corner, catches it this time, and evens the count up at 2-2. Wolverine right-hander working quickly out there, the 2-2 pitch. Another fastball, this one misses low. Again, trying to shoot for that outside corner. So brings the count full, 3-2. So far, 5 fastballs, 5 of them trying to aim towards that outside corner, and now a breaking ball on 3-2, and he went around. The pitch missed low, but according to first base umpire Joel Hospica, Feynman did go around on the swing, so 1 batter, 1 strikeout for Alec Renard here in the 4th inning. That will bring up Jeremy Houston. Houston coming off that 0-for-4 day yesterday when he struck out 4 times. Flew out to center in his first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. Gets his first look today at Renard. And Renard again going back to outside corner, this time with a breaking ball. And this one misses just low, maybe a little off the plate. Count 1-0 on the Indiana shortstop. This one again, a breaking ball, misses low and away. Brings the count to 2-0. So the spot Renard seems to want to attack is that low outside corner. Just about every single pitch he's thrown has gone to that spot. This time misses high and away for a ball. Count now 3-0 on Houston. Houston, the diminutive second baseman, stands out there at 5'8" in that right-handed batter's box. Takes ball 4 as that one misses inside off the plate. As a 4-pitch walk here, puts a runner on with 1 out in the inning. That will bring up the center fielder for the Hoosiers, Laren Eustace. Eustace back in the 2nd inning. Had himself a single up the middle. Part of that 4-hit 2nd inning that resulted in 2 runs for Indiana. Eustace stands in that left-handed batter's box against the right-hander Renard. As Renard comes set on the first pitch here. Squares around to bunt, but pulls back as that one misses high. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Eustace. Eustace taking a little extra time here as he stands out of the box, looks down to his third base coach for the signs. Finally steps in there. Renard gets his sign and the pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. After Renard was really around the same spot against the first batter, Feynman, constantly missing low and away and trying to pinpoint that low outside corner. Seems to have lost his command a little bit. A little wild against Jeremy Houston, and so far as Laren Eustace, that pitch there was supposed to go to the outside corner, as this one is lined down the right field line fair. That one's going to get all the way to the corner. Houston is being sent at third. No, now he's being held up. A last-second hold there by the third base coach Kyle Cheeseborough. But Eustace is into second with a double, and there are now 2 runners on, 2 runners in scoring position as they cycle back up to the top of the Indiana order with Tony Butler stepping to the plate. Nice piece of hitting there by Eustace. Hook one down that left field line down that right field line over a leaping Bivens at first. Indiana looking to tack on perhaps 2 runs with a 3rd straight inning. He tacked on 2 in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. Got a couple runners in scoring position here in the 4th with second baseman Tony Butler at the plate. The Wolverines bring the infield in at the last second. Butler takes a strike on the outside corner. Brings the count to 0-1. Butler also taking a little extra time as the third base coach Kyle Cheeseborough goes through his signs over there. Lengthy set of signs. Now Butler steps in here. Renard comes set for the 0-1 pitch. This one misses off the plate away. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Wolverines pulling their infield in now, trying to cut down that run at the plate if possible. Already trail 4-2 here in the top half of the 4th inning against the Hoosiers. Bernard's 1-1 pitch now. Swung at, hit to second baseman Kerr. He fields, throws home, not in time. Kerr fielded the ball, looked to have a little bit of trouble on the transition. Probably should have thrown to first when he did that. And instead tried to fire home to Wenson and bounced it in there. Wenson did not have a chance at grabbing that ball and making the tag. And really, even if it was a clean throw, I don't think Wenson would have had enough time to grab it and make a tag because of the transition that Kerr could not quite make from glove to hand. So that one will go down as an RBI fielder's choice there from Tony Butler. He stands on first now. Eustace moves up to third, and Houston comes in to score. Indiana now leads by a score of 5-2. And now the left fielder for the Hoosiers, Craig Didelo, stepping to the plate. Got to be careful. The Hoosiers ready with 3 home runs today. Didelo, their team leader, now tied for the team lead after Matt Lloyd hit his 9th. And this one is hit high and deep towards right field. The right fielder, Engelman, ranging back, cannot make the grab as he crashes into the wall. 1 run will score. Second runner being waved around. The relay throw, not in time. Once he can't scoop it and make the play. So a 2-run double there off the bat of Craig Didelo. And Indiana appears to have broken this one open a bit. They now lead by a score of 7-2 here in the 4th inning. I thought Didelo had himself home run number 10 on the season. It just came up a bit short as it bounced off the top of that right field wall, just where the wall kind of starts to jut out and get a little bit deeper in the power alley. Engelman did all he could to try to make the play and grab that ball on a fly, but just couldn't quite get there in time. Result of the ball skipping away. The center fielder Slater made the throw into Kerr. Kerr made the throw to Wenson, but Wenson couldn't quite hang on and get the tag down in time. And now Bernard's first pitch to Luke Miller is in there for a strike on the outside corner. And yet another dangerous hitter in this Indiana lineup. Miller going deep in his last at-bat just last inning. That was his 7th home run of the year, his 24th RBI. Stands in there with a runner in scoring position and Craig Didelo out at second base. The 0-1 pitch here from Bernard. Swung at, big swing there, and that one's chopped down the line foul and skips into that Wolverine bullpen. Brings the count to 0-2. And if Bernard can manage to get Miller here, it would be a big boost just to try to get out of the inning, limiting the damage to only 3 runs if possible. Bernard comes set for the 0-2 pitch. Big swing there, and this one's chopped towards short. Bernard makes the play, throws over first, and in time by a step. Nice play there made by Michael Bernard. Had to deal with the runner Didelo running in front of him. Made the play off the high hop and all in one motion, fielded it, went from glove to hand and threw almost with a bit of a hop on the run, and was just in time to retire Miller at first. On the play, Didelo moves up to third, but there are now 2 outs with Matt Lloyd striding to the plate. Lloyd so far on the day, the lefty designated hitter for the Hoosiers, has himself a double and a home run. First pitch he sees from Bernard, misses high and away for a ball, 1-0. Lloyd with the second of those back-to-back jacks in the 3rd inning for Indiana. Ties the team lead with 9 home runs on the year. The second pitch here misses low and in from Bernard. And now 2-0 with Matt Lloyd firmly in control of this count. Bernard wants to be careful here when throwing this next pitch. He comes set now. And the 2-0 pitch misses away for a ball, 3-0. So perhaps a bit too careful there from Bernard, as could not find the strike zone. And if he's going to try to attack Lloyd, he's going to have to come back from quite the deficit. 3 balls and no strikes. This ball is in there for a strike on this pitch. Caught the inside corner near the knees. Brings the count to 3-1. Still a very favorable hitter's count for Matt Lloyd. He waves the bat over the plate a couple times. Now waggles the bat over his left shoulder, and the 3-1 pitch just misses off the plate away for a ball. So Bernard issues his second walk of the inning, and there are runners at the corners now for Logan Sowers, the right fielder for Indiana. Sowers strides around the plate and into that right-handed batter's box. Sowers on the day hit the 2-run home run back in the second to open the scoring on the day. Seems like forever ago with the way Indiana has really crushed the ball over the last 3 innings. First pitch he sees from Bernard. Misses low and in for a ball, 1-0. So Bernard having some command issues, and now it'll be Michael Bernard jogging in from shortstop to talk with the junior pitcher. Again, Indiana leading here 7-2 in the top of the 4th. Story of the game, they scored 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and already 3 in the 4th, threatening to score some more. Michigan, meanwhile, could only muster 2 in the second and hasn't done anything since. Runners at the corners now. Logan Sowers at the plate, down, or rather up in the count, 1-0 against the Wolverine right-hander Alec Bernard. 1-0 pitch. Big swing here and foul straight back and out of play. Evens the count up at 1-1. Alec Bernard just trying to get out of the inning here. Does have 2 outs. Does not want to allow Didalo over there at third to score. He comes set now for the 1-1 pitch. This one just misses off the inside corner now. Brings the count to 2-1. And it didn't look like Harrison Wenson was set up on the inside part of the plate. So it appears Bernard really missing his spots now. Gotten a little wild here in the 3rd inning, and since cost him, leaving some pitches in some favorable spots for Indiana hitters as well as walking a couple. The double pickoff move here, nothing going, as both runners get back to the base safely. Sauer steps in there, crouched in that right-handed batter's box. That bat above his right shoulder and waits. He grounds one towards second. Kerr makes the play, shovels to the shortstop Bernard, who barely got to second in time. So a bit of indecision there by Kerr almost cost the Wolverines. Bernard sprinting on full sprint, had to come across the bag and make the play. Nonetheless, the inning is over, but not before Indiana scores 3 runs to tack onto their lead. Through 3.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score Indiana 7, Michigan 2. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Austin Falco bring you all the action here in Ann Arbor on a beautiful day, and the Wolverine fans not so much to cheer about so far despite coming out and enjoying this weather. For the Wolverines, trying to get them back into this ballgame, it'll be Jake Bivens, Nick Poirier, and Jonathan Engelman to lead things off against the Indiana right-hander Brian Hobby, who has looked pretty sharp so far today. Already has himself 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings after not really tallying up the strikeout totals on the year coming into today. So it will be Bivens striding to the plate now to lead things off in the 4th inning. Does not have an official at-bat on the day. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd that he almost beat out for a base hit. Already seen Bivens able to do that exact same thing earlier this season. Bunting and then beating out the sacrifice, or the throw rather, turning a sacrifice into a base hit. The first pitch he sees here from Hobby misses low and away for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch now from Hobby. Line back up the middle for a base hit. So Bivens leads off here with a single in the fourth. Just trying to help the Wolverines claw their way back into a game that at the moment seems to be a bit out of reach. They score 7-2. The Michigan, however, did have a 7-run comeback just a couple weekends ago against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Hoping they still have some of those magic in their bats. It will be Nick Poirier striding to the plate, the owner of the very first RBI of the series, of the game as well for the Wolverines back in the second inning. Had an RBI single. The first pitch here misses high from Hobby, 1-0. Bivens over there on first, a threat to steal, 18 for 20 on the year. Not sure if he would really be going on this pitch, or rather in this at-bat. The Wolverines down 5. Most likely trying to string together some hits and not risk getting thrown out on the base paths. However, being so prolific on the base paths, the Wolverines might try it anyway. Bivens takes an aggressive lead over there. Isn't going with the pitch as the off-speed pitch catches the plate on the inside corner. Poirier, not sure if he really agreed with that ball, but the count is 1-1 nonetheless on the Wolverine designated hitter Poirier. As Hobby comes set and the 1-0 pitch, Bivens fakes going with it as it misses low and away. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the left-handed DH. Keeping an eye on Bivens over there are the Hoosiers and every fan here as he does not go with this pitch, and Poirier lines one in the right field for a base hit. A hard hit ball, so Bivens is going to have to stop that second. But so far, 2 batters in. The Wolverines have got 2 on here to lead things off in the bottom of the 4th. It will be Jonathan Engelman striding to the plate with a chance to get a rally going here for the Wolverines. Engelman singled back in the second inning. Looking if he can do the same here. Would either load the bases or perhaps drive in a much-needed run with Bivens in scoring position out there on second. Engelman was mired in a bit of a slump over the past couple weekends. Has looked a lot better at the plate recently, hitting the ball hard, including that single back in his first at bat. Was a high chopper, but he really just chopped it straight into the ground and had it bounce up so high that third baseman Miller couldn't make the play. Takes the first pitch here from Hobby for a strike on the outside corner. And home plate umpire David Condon catching a little flack for being a little more generous in the outside corner in this half inning than he's been so far the rest of the ballgame. Hobby comes set now for the 0-1. Engelman takes one off the outside corner now for a ball. Evens the count up at 1-1. Engelman takes his time between pitches, takes a step out of the batter's box, stares at that bat, takes a deep breath, and then stands in there and awaits the 1-1 from Hobby. Line shot into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Bivens going to be held at third. He had to wait up just a second to see if the left fielder Dilo would make the play. But now the bases are loaded as the first 3 Wolverines all single to start the inning here in the 4th. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jimmy Kerr.
Second baseman, number 15, Jimmy Kerr.
Talked about if Michigan can get some contributions out of Kerr with a K.O. Thomas out of lineup, go a long way towards getting the win. And Kerr delivered in his first at-bat back in the second inning, had himself a big RBI double into the left center field gap. And before Hobby goes to work against Kerr, he'll get a mound visit here from the catcher Feynman. Kerr, meanwhile, walks over to the dugout to converse with head coach Eric Bakich, the on-deck hitter Harrison Wenson, as well as a K.O. Thomas over there, who, despite not playing today, is very active in this ball game, right on that top step with Eric Bakich. It looks like we're going to get the long stroll out to the mound from the Indiana coaching staff. We might be seeing a pitching change here. I haven't seen him make a move down to the bullpen yet, but there is some action out there for the Hoosiers. And it looks almost more of a strategy meeting as the entire infield now comes to the mound. Going to discuss what exactly they want to do here, how they want to attack. A ball hit up the middle, ball hit to the corners, and whatnot. And it looks like we are indeed going to get a pitching change. So Brian Hobby's day is done. Get you the final line on him after this inning is over, as he's responsible for all 3 men on base right now. New pitcher for Indiana looks to be number 13, Cal Kruger, the freshman right-hander coming into the ballgame. Kruger on the season so far has appeared in 14 ball games, made a start back earlier on this season. Also has recorded 1 save on the year. He's used in a myriad of roles. Currently sits with an 0-1 record on the season, but holds a .255 ERA in almost 25 innings pitched. He has struck out 15 and walked 10. When batters put the ball in play against him, they're hitting .245. And really, with the exception of a few pitchers in this Indiana lineup, or rather this Indiana squad, very low batting averages for hitters against him. A testament to just how good this Indiana defense is. We've seen them make some spectacular plays already the first 2 games of the series. And Kruger appears to be the type of pitcher that will rely on those fielders to make some plays to help him get out of this jam. Thought that would be the case with the starter Brian Hobby, but proved us wrong here. Is in just over 3 innings, he struck out 5. Allowed so far on the day, is credited with 7 hits allowed, only getting up 2 runs as of now. Again, all 3 runners on base. It's Bivens over at third, Poye at second, and Engelman at first. Would all be charged to the starter Brian Hobby should they come around to score. And a much different scene on the mound now here with Kruger. Stands at 6 foot 185, a far cry from the 6'4" stature of Brian Hobby. Kruger out of Jasper, Indiana. Just a freshman here being called upon in a big moment for the Hoosiers. So a freshman against sophomore here. But Kruger facing Jimmy Kerr with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 4th inning. Michigan looking to get back into this one. Currently down 7-2 with a big hit here. Can make it seem much more optimistic for the chances of the maize and blue. First pitch Kerr sees, misses, perhaps low, maybe a bit inside, not quite sure where it missed from the angle up here, but apparently it did. The count now 1 ball and no strikes on Jimmy Kerr. He stands in there, that left-handed batter's box, waves that bat over the plate a couple times. Kruger comes set, and the 1-0 pitch. This one misses inside. The count now 2-0 on Jimmy Kerr. So Kerr in the driver's seat here in this at-bat. Bodes well for his chances of getting the maize and blue back into this one. Middle infield for Indiana playing double play depth. Gorski at first playing behind the runner. Meanwhile, the third baseman Miller playing up near what would be the infield grass. 2-0 pitch to Kerr. Line towards center field. The center fielder Eustace ranging back. He's going to have room to make the catch, but both runners will tag up at second and third, and a run comes in to score. So a sacrifice fly from Jimmy Kerr gets things just a little bit closer here. Michigan now trails by a score of 7-3. Kerr's second RBI of the day in replacement of Akeo Thomas. That will bring up the catcher, Harrison Wenson, with runners at the corners now as Poirier made the heads-up play, also tagging. The throw ended up going into second, so Engelman, who was also tagging on the play, stopped about a third of the way once he saw where that throw was headed from the center fielder, Eustace. Harrison Wenson, back in the second inning, struck out against the starter, Brian Hobby. He takes the first pitch here from Kruger, low and in for a ball, 1-0. And with that strikeout from Wenson, now makes 4 strikeouts in his last 4 at-bats. We're going to change that trend here as he awaits the 1-0 pitch from Kruger. Kruger comes set with that glove about waist high, and the pitch. Fastball misses low, 2-0 now. So he started off Kerr down 2-0 in the count before giving up a sacrifice fly. Starts Wenson off 2-0 now, and catcher Feynman out for a brief discussion with Kruger. Feynman now trots back behind the plate. We'll see if Wenson gets the fastball he seems to always be looking for on 2-0. Kruger comes set on the pitch. He did get that fastball, but was a little low and inside. He was just able to get a piece of it and foul it off toward the Wolverine dugout. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on the big Wolverine catcher. Wenson's average now dipping below 200 after that strikeout back in the second inning. Sits at 198, but not really in there for his offensive presence. He'll try to contribute nonetheless here. The 2-1 pitch misses low and away for a ball, 3-1. If there is one thing that Harrison Wenson can really contribute offensively, it's extra base and home run power. 5 home runs and a total of 11 extra base hits on the season. With a 3-1 count, you got to imagine if he gets one in his wheelhouse, he's going to take a big hack at it. 3-1 pitch. He does take a big hack at this one, but this one was low and in. Perhaps chased one there on 3-1 to even things up. Count is full now on the Wolverine catcher. Wenson taps both shoes with that bat. Now steps in there. Kruger gets his sign and comes set for the payoff pitch. This one is tapped foul at the plate. Engelman was running with the pitch. With a 3-2 count. But he'll have to trap back to second. We'll do it again on 3-2 against Wenson. See if Engelman going again here on 3-2. Indiana looking to get some signings from the dugout. Perhaps adjusting to what exactly they want to do with Engelman running with the pitch, perhaps. Takes his lead. And going again, 3-2 pitch, swung at ground ball to third. Third baseman Miller makes the play to second for 1. And a hard slide there from the second baseman Engelman, or rather at second base from Engelman. Causes second baseman Butler to drop the ball. And Wenson reaches first. Bit of discussion going on at second as the Indiana middle infielders, as well as Indiana head coach Chris Lemonis here, thinks that Engelman's slide was perhaps too obstructive. There's an interference call coming. We saw an interference call overturned, or rather called after overturning a play yesterday. The third base umpire Brent Rice was on the call out there at second. After a brief discussion, Indiana head coach Chris Lemonis heads back to the dugout, and it looks like it will indeed go down as an RBI fielder's choice for Harrison Wenson. So the Wolverines get just a little bit closer here. They've scored 2 in the bottom of the 4th and make it 7-4. And that will indeed bring up Johnny Slater. Slater 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to first in the first and struck out back in the second. He's got Harrison Wenson on first here with 2 outs in the 4th. First pitch he sees on the day from Kruger misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Later stands in a left-handed batter's box and awaits the 1-0 pitch. So misses outside, 2-0 now. So it seems to be the theme of these at-bats against Kruger is Wolverine hitters getting ahead 2-0 in the count. The third straight batter out of 3 that Kruger has faced that have gone ahead 2-0 to start the at-bat. This one is grounded hard towards second. The second baseman Butler, though, is on it. Fields and throws to first to record the third out of the inning. The Wolverines claw just a little bit closer here. They push across 2 on an RBI sacrifice fly from Jimmy Kerr and a RBI fielder's choice from Harrison Wenson. After 4 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score sits at Indiana 7, Michigan 4. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. We thank you for listening to our coverage of Michigan baseball all season long. Look to bring you as many games as possible, all the games that we can here, both baseball and softball. We bring you some lacrosse action when we can. And throughout the year, bring you the football, basketball. Looking to re-add volleyball to our lineup next season. We'll also go with the hockey, soccer, just about every Michigan sport you can think of. We try to bring it to you here on WCBN Sports. We couldn't do it without your support and all of you guys tuning in, so a big thank you to all of you today. And it will be Alec Renard resuming his duties on the mound for the Wolverines here in the top of the 5th inning. Renard, a bit of a tough last inning, gave up 3 runs against the Hoosiers after coming in, faced 8 batters. To lead things off here in the 5th will be the only batter that hasn't seen Renard today in Matt Gorski. And after him will be the catcher Ryan Feynman and the shortstop Jeremy Houston. As Harrison Wenson, who was on base, finally trots out from the dugout to resume his duties behind the plate. And Renard will finish his warm-ups and we'll get underway here in the top half of the 5th inning. And Michigan trailing Indiana by a score of 7-4. The game story of the day, Indiana, after going down 1-2-3 in the first, put across 2 in the second on the strength of a 2-run home run, 2 in the third on the strength of back-to-back jacks, and then manufactured 3 runs in the 4th. Michigan, meanwhile, went down 1-2-3 in the first as well, scored 2 in the second, did not score in the third, and then scored 2 last inning in the 4th. That's where we sit at 7-4. The first pitch here from Renard to the first baseman Gorski misses low for a ball, 1-0. Gorski ready with his 3rd at-bat of the day here. He's 1 for 2. Squares on a bunt here, but pulls back as that one misses way outside. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Gorski, the speedy first baseman, not something you hear very often. Stands in there and takes the strike that catches the outside corner from Renard. Brings the count to 2-1. Gorski singled back in the second and struck out looking in the third. This time he fouls one down the right field line and out of play near the parking lot here at the Wilpon Baseball Softball Complex. And even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch now from Renard. This one is grounded with about a half swing there through the left side for a base hit into left. So Matt Gorski with a bit of creative hitting there. Didn't really finish his swing, looked a little unsure of it midway through, but hit the ball hard on the ground between Legbauer and Berdard on the left side of the infield. And he's on with a leadoff single here in the 5th inning for the Hoosiers. The second time they've had the leadoff hitter on today. That'll bring up the catcher Ryan Feynman now. He looks down to third as, again, the third base coach out there, Kyle Cheeseborough, giving signs constantly out there. Indiana, very strategically placed signs. The first pitch to Feynman is fouled off to the right side and out of play into that parking lot here. Wolverines normally use some armbands and whatnot to give their signs to their hitters. Makes it a little bit quicker. Indiana, on the other hand, gets all their signs manually from the third base coach. So this one is grounded towards third, off the third base bag. That's a fair ball down the line and left. Lewis chasing into the corner. It looks like one run is going to score. Skorski flying around from first. He comes all the way in to score on an RBI double from the catcher, Ryan Feynman. Indiana now leads by a score of 8-4 as they get one of those runs back here. Just 2 batters into the inning in the 5th. And now double barrel action in the Wolverine bullpen. Here's Renard, as was his predecessor Ryan Newtoff, getting hit hard by this Hoosier lineup. We got a bit of a meeting on the mound now as shortstop Michael Berdard comes over to talk to Renard. Get some rosin on his hands. Perhaps buying some time for those pitchers in the bullpen. It appears it is going to be Renard right now to face Jeremy Houston, though. Houston 0 for 1 on the day, flew out back in the 2nd against Newtoff and walked against Renard last inning in the 4th. First pitch he sees this at bat, catches the inside corner for a strike. The first strike he's seen from Renard today. That walk last inning was on 4 pitches. So he taps both sides of the plate, waggles that bat out in front of him. Stands very close to that home plate. His toes are on the white chalk. So he fouls this one off to the right side and out of play, brings the count to 0-2. And Houston being that with that 5'8" frame, very similar to Akeo Thomas, who also stands at 5'8". They stand right on the front edge of that batter's box, right near the plate, toes basically on the white line. Try to get as much extension over that outside corner that they can. 0-2 pitch from Renard now. Misses off that outside corner. Brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Hoosier shortstop. So Renard stares in now at Wenson to get his sign, taking his time here. Shakes off a couple times. Now finally comes set. And the 1-2 pitch. Some bounce in the dirt. Nice stop by Wenson. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes, but Wenson just prevented Feynman from getting over to third base with nobody out in the inning, which is a dangerous proposition when the other team can drive a runner home without even recording a base hit. So we'll have a 2-2 pitch upcoming as Renard comes set and fires. Catches the inside corner for strike 3. Houston reacted as if he was going to step back out and look down for another sign, but plate umpire David Condon rung him up before he could do so. And there is now 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning. It appears to be the end of the day for Alec Renard as head coach Eric Backich is out of the dugout and motions down to the pen. So Alec Renard, his day not quite done as he is responsible for that runner Feynman at second, but was unable to get past more than an inning and a third in relief. As head coach Eric Backich takes the ball from him and hands over to the Wolverine left-hander William Tribuker. Tribuker on the season, coming out of the pen. He's appeared in 12 games. Also did start 1 ball game. Has a 3-1 record and a 2.28 ERA. In just over 23 innings pitched, he struck out 23. Has walked 15 batters though. Batters are hitting .235 against the big Wolverine left-hander. So it will be Tribuker here to face the left-handed center fielder for Indiana, Laren Eustace. Before he gets a right-hander and Tony Butler on deck, and should the inning go past those two, will be another left-hander coming to the plate in the form of Craig Dedelo. So as Tribuker finishes up his warm-up pitches here, his main job is going to be, at the very least, don't allow more than that runner on second to score, and if at all possible, prevent him from coming in to score as well and keep this within one swing essentially for the Wolverines. It's a 4-run ball game right now. Indiana has scored each of the last 4 innings, including this one, leading by a score of 8-4 here in the second game of this series. And Jeremy Parks and I talked about it a bit on the broadcast yesterday. A big series for both teams. Michigan looking to remain in the Big Ten regular season title hunt. Meanwhile, Indiana right on the cusp of the NCAA tournament. They got a big win yesterday against what is currently consensus top 20 team in the Michigan Wolverines, and so far leading today 8-4. Series win here would most likely propel them into the NCAA tournament when the next batch of projections come out sometime next week. Tribuker is ready now, and the left-handed center fielder Eustace steps to the plate. Tribuker gets his sign now and comes set. He fires, squares around a bunt, and the pitch really missed outside high and in, but almost a defensive attempt there by Eustace to bunt the ball. Home plate umpire David Condon says he did not pull it back, which he did not. Count 0-1 now on Eustace. Tribuker gets his sign on the 0-1 pitch. This one misses outside as Wenson out of his crouch to field that one. Count even up at 1-1 now. Eustace so far 2 for 2 on the day. Singled back in the second, then doubled, came around to score in the fourth. His 11th run scored of the season in limited action for the Hoosiers. 1-1 pitch to him. Hit high in the air towards left field. Lewis ranging back. He's at the track, at the wall. Not going to be able to catch that one as it bounces off the wall. 1 run is going to come in to score. And an RBI double here off that left field wall by Laren Eustace. Indiana now leads by a score of 9-4. It really just looks like a misplay there on the part of Miles Lewis in left field. Looks like he could have made the grab. It bounced off the left field wall about halfway up the padding. Not exactly off that high brick part of the wall. Would have been about a shoulder high grab for Miles Lewis, but very conscious as he was running back towards that hard brick wall back there. Wasn't able to corral it in, so it'll go as an RBI double. And now the first pitch here to the leadoff hitter Tony Butler clips him on the foot from Tribuker, and he'll reach base. So runners at first and second now here with 1 out in the inning. For Indiana, that'll bring up the powerful left hitting left fielder Craig Dedelo. Dedelo 1 for 3 on the day, had that big RBI double back just last inning. 2 RBIs on that play. Bounced about halfway up the wall in right field. Lefty-lefty matchup here as Tribuker fires that one past Dedelo as he swings and misses. And the count 0-1 now. It's Eustace, the center fielder, out there on second, and Butler, the second baseman, out there on first. A breaking ball here by Tribuker, another swing and a miss from Dedelo. The count now 0-2. You gotta figure Tribuker rather has to get this out. He has that lefty-lefty matchup. 1 out in the inning. The breaking ball called. Strike 3 on Dedelo. So a nice breaking ball there from Tribuker. Records the second out of the inning. Second strikeout looking of the inning. And it will be Luke Miller now, the Indiana third baseman, striding to the plate for his 4th at-bat of the ball game. So far on the day, he's 1 for 3. His one, though, was a big one back in the 3rd inning, a long home run to left center field. The first of back-to-back homers for the Hoosiers in an inning. First pitch he sees from Tribuker. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Tribuker now looking to limit the damage. 2 runs have come in to score for Indiana in the inning, and there are currently 2 more runners on base. Second pitch from Tribuker to Miller. An awkward swing and a miss there from Miller. It looked like he swung by the time the ball was ready in Harrison Winston's glove. It was really awkward there. His feet were all off. He was almost dancing in the batter's box as he was swinging. But no matter how ugly it looked, it still goes down as a normal strike in the count, 0-2. As Miller perhaps needs some extra time to regroup there at the plate. Calls time before stepping back in. Tribuker toes the rubber here. He stares into Winston for his sign on 0-2. Here it comes. This one's hit high in the air towards deep left field. Slater ranging back. He's near the track, near the wall. Jumping but can't make the grab. It bounces off his glove and then off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. A big 2-run double there off the bat of Luke Miller. And Indiana once again breaks this thing wide open. They lead now by a score of 11-4.
The designated hitter number 14, Matt Lloyd.
It looked like for a second Johnny Slater was going to be able to make the play. It was hit the straightaway center. He was running straight back. He leapt up and was able to get a piece of it with his glove, but could not bring it in. And with 2 outs, both runners were moving on the hit. Made it easy for both runners to come around and score on that double. It's the 3rd RBI, the 2nd and 3rd RBIs on the day for Miller. Now Matt Lloyd strides to the plate and takes the first pitch from Tribuker for a strike. Both of those runs then charged to William Tribuker. The previous couple of runs in the inning were charged to Alec Renard before he came out of the ballgame. Tribuker's 0-1 pitch now. Misses low and away on the breaking ball. Evens count up at 1-1 to the left-handed hitting designated hitter for Indiana, Matt Lloyd. And Lloyd 2 for 2 on the day. Had a double back in the 2nd. The home run to right center back in the 3rd and walked in the 4th. Here in the 5th, he takes the 1-1 pitch on a breaking ball. Catches the plate from Tribuker. Brings the count to 1-2. Tribuker very dependent on that breaking ball, especially against the lefties. He was able to get Craig Didelo looking on that big breaking ball earlier this inning. Looking to do the same with the left-handed hitting Matt Lloyd. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This was a fastball that Lloyd went around on, but it gets past the catcher Winston. He throws down to first, but it's not in time. Or rather, fakes the throw down to first. So a drop 3rd strike there as Lloyd reaches base. And that puts runners at the corners. Still 2 outs here with the 9th batter of the inning, Logan Sowers, striding to the plate. So just when it appeared Will Tribuker was able to get out of the inning, a rare pass ball there on Harrison Winston as it scooted through the wickets and back to the backstop. Just bad timing for that one. The Wolverines still cannot get out of this 5th inning. Breaking ball here to Logan Sowers, misses inside, 1-0. Four runs already in the inning for Indiana. Another runner on scoring position in Miller at 3rd. 1-0 pitch, rounded towards 3rd. Ledbauer makes the play, throws over to 1st in time, and the Wolverines finally able to get out of the inning. In the inning, Indiana bats around and scores 4 runs to widen their lead just when it seemed like Michigan was starting to get back into it. Indiana breaks it wide open again, and they lead by a score of 11-4. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And thank you for your support. If you do enjoy what we're giving you today on this broadcast, we encourage you to check out tomorrow's broadcast as well. We'll have that for you on WCBN Sports. It's a noon Eastern start against Indiana. The third game of a 3-game series, and it looks like perhaps the Hoosiers will be going for a sweep after the Wolverines were able to sweep Oklahoma last weekend. Had a 4-game winning streak, or rather a 5-game winning streak coming into the series. They dropped last night by a score of 1-0 and trail here to the Hoosiers 11-4 as we enter the bottom half of the 5th inning. In the bottom half of the 5th inning will be Kruger resuming his duties on the mound for the Hoosiers. He came in to relieve Brian Hobby just last inning, faced 3 hitters, retired all 3, but on 2 of those, a couple runners came in to score. To start things off here in the 5th for the Wolverines will be the shortstop Michael Bernard, the third baseman Drew Lugbauer, and the left fielder Miles Lewis. So the left side of the fielding alignment for the Wolverines coming to bat here in the 5th inning against Kruger. First pitch from Kruger to Bernard, misses low for a ball, 1-0. Bernard on the day 0 for 2. Flew out to center and struck out so far on the day, both against Hobby. Second pitch of the at-bat here is in there for a strike. Evens the count up at 1-1 on the Wolverine shortstop. Bernard waves that bat around a bit and then crouches low in that right-handed batter's box. The 1-1 pitch. Another one in there for a strike, 1-2. Bernard, not very strikeout prone, does have that one today, only his 13th on the season and 156 at-bats. Probably very confident when down in the count. This time he watches one that misses just off the plate away, maybe a little bit low, to even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's part of the reason he strikes out so little. A great eye at the plate to avoid chasing pitches like that. This 2-2 is grounded towards short. The shortstop Houston ranges over to his right, makes the play to throw to first. Nice pick over there by Gorski to record the out. So Bernard grounds out to end the inning, and that will bring up the third baseman Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer looking to have better luck against Kruger than he had against Hobby. In both the first and third innings, Lugbauer was set down looking on strikes. Wolverine left-handed hitting third baseman steps in there now for his first look at Kruger. Kruger always working out of the stretch, comes set and fires. This one catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch now from Kruger. Big swing there, hard hit ball to first. The first baseman Gorski able to knock it down with his glove and pick up with the bare hand. Had to go down to 2 knees to stop that one. It was hit so hard. But he was able to grab it and run over to first to record the out unassisted. So 2 batters, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th for the Wolverines. That'll bring up Miles Lewis trying to get something started with 2 outs in the inning. Lewis 1 for 2 on the day, singled back in the second and lined out on a diving stab by the first baseman Gorski back in the third. First pitch of this at-bat bounces well in front of the plate. That one bounced almost on where the infield grass would be. Not even really close with that one, so the count now 1 ball and no strikes on Lewis. Lewis batting from the left side here. Takes this breaking ball that misses low. Brings the count to 2 balls and no strikes on the switch hitting left fielder for the Wolverines. It was Lewis who appeared to misplay that ball in left field. That led to a couple runs. Looking to do some damage here as he lines one back up the middle for a base hit as that one scoots through the middle infield. So 2 outs here. Lewis tries to get something started with a base hit. He'll be on first with Jake Bivens coming to the plate. Bivens on the day also 1 for 2 with a single. He led off just last inning in the 4th with that single and came around to score the third Wolverine run of the ball game. Was his 26th run scored on the year. He gets his first look here at Kruger. The first pitch is in there for a strike with the fastball. That looked like a great pitch to hit from up here. Bivens not much of a first pitch swinger though normally, despite that one being right in his wheelhouse. 0-1 pitch now. This one misses off the plate away. Evens the count up at 1-1. So Bivens average creeping ever higher now at 274. This one is tapped foul on the right field line and near that Indiana bullpen. Got him in the count to 1-2. And I said he was 1 for 2 on the day. He's actually 1 for 1. The out he made was a sacrifice bunt back in the second. He is down in the count now, 1-2 against Kruger here. Kruger comes set and throws. Had to reach out in front of that one as it was looked to be off the plate, and Bivens, perhaps a bit in front of it, was able to nail it off the end of the bat and over the stands here in left field at Ray Fisher Stadium. Stays alive in the count, 1-2. Kruger comes set now. Running on the pitch is the Lewis. Ground over to third though, and third baseman Miller makes the play over to first to record the third out of the inning. So a 2-out single there from Miles Lewis, but nothing to do it for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the fifth. Through 5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Indiana retains their large lead at 7-4. You are listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball.
Here comes Gabe and Rick coming down the right field line, heading towards first base.
We're going to have another Wolverine pitcher coming into the ballgame as Will Tribuker's day appears to be done.
Down the stretch they come, and it looks like we are going to have a winner.
It's going to be number 38, Austin Batka, coming into the game. Batka, limited action on the season. This will be his 7th appearance. He has a 1.42 ERA and 6 1/3 innings. He struck out 9 and only walked 3. It'll be the left-handed junior Austin Batka coming in for the Wolverines, just trying to maintain the 7-run deficit and give the offense that is normally very prolific for the Wolverines a chance to possibly work their way back into this. So will be the junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Stands up there at 5'11", 180, and sports a heck of a mustache out there. He'll finish up his warm-up pitches here. To begin this inning, he will face the first baseman Matt Gorski, the catcher Ryan Feynman, and the shortstop Jeremy Houston, the same 3 hitters that led off last inning after Indiana batted around. Indiana has scored multiple runs in the last 4 innings of the ballgame. 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and then 4 last inning in the 5th. Austin Batka looking just to stop that trend. So will be Gorski stepping up to the plate. It'll be his first look at Batka on the day. He's 2 for 3 overall with a couple singles. First pitch from Batka here, squares around and pulls back, does Gorski. As that pitch missed away for a ball, 1-0. It appears Gorski squares around to bunt just about every single first pitch of his at-bats. This time Batka fires a fastball that's in there on the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Batka does work out of the windup as some relievers opt to do. This one is fouled straight back to the screen. Got to bring the count to 1-2 on the Indiana first baseman, Matt Gorski. 1-2 pitch, swung at and missed on a breaking ball that dropped off the table. And there's one out here as Batka is able to retire the leadoff hitter in the 6th. That will bring up the catcher, Ryan Feynman. Feynman so far on the day, 1 for 3. Just last inning had himself that big RBI double that drove in his predecessor, Matt Gorski. First pitch he sees here from Austin Batka is swung at and fouled down that right field line off the protecting wall that protects the little plaza between the Indiana dugout and the Indiana bullpen. Count going to be 0-1 on the Indiana Hoosier catcher, Feynman. Oh, 1 pitch now. Big swing and a miss there as Batka started him off with 2 breaking balls and has Feynman down in the count, 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch now. This is a fastball this time, but or rather another breaking ball, I should say. This time lined into left field for a base hit. It got near that left field corner, but Lewis got it back in fast enough for Feynman. Didn't have a chance to run to second. So another hit for Ryan Feynman. Has a runner on first here for Indiana with 1 out in the 6th. I'll bring up the shortstop, Jeremy Houston. Houston so far 0 for 2 on the day. Has himself a fly out and a strikeout, but did walk back in the 4th inning. Came around to score his 9th run of the season. First pitch here from Batka catches the inside corner for a strike with the fastball. Feynman over on first, not really a threat to steal. The catcher 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts this season. Batka comes set here for the 0-1 pitch. This one a changeup, it looked like, that missed high. Harrison was not able to get the call for his pitcher. Held it there for an extra beat. And the count's going to even up now at 1-1. One pitch out of Houston. Line towards left field. Is it going to stay fair? No, it just hooks foul on that left field line. As that one looked to be probably another double for the Hoosiers. Just ended up hooking foul. There's not much space here at Ray Fisher Stadium between that foul line and that protective wall for the Wolverine bullpen, but somehow Jeremy Houston was able to find it. Disappeared from view here behind that wall from our press box angle. Nevertheless, 1-2 now on Houston. As Batka comes set and fires. Breaking ball misses high. Evens the count up at 2-2. Houston, coming into this series, only had 8 strikeouts on the year in some limited action. Struck out 4 times yesterday and once today. Bring that total up to 13, and Batka looking to continue that trend. This time the breaking ball tapped foul off near the Wolverine dugout. Count's going to remain 2-2. It was the big Wolverine right-hander Jack Bredesen out of the dugout to make the bare-handed play. Unfortunately, does not count for the Wolverines. Instead, it will be up to Austin Batka here to try to retire Houston with another 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Fastball catches the inside corner for strike 3. So for the second straight at bat, the second straight inning, Jeremy Houston goes down looking on that low inside fastball. And there are now 2 outs in the inning here, with a runner on first for the center fielder, Laren Eustace. Eustace stepping up today, 3 for 3. 2 doubles, including an RBI double last inning in the 5th. First pitch he sees here from Batka is a fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. This is Eustace's first look at Batka on the day, of course. Last inning he did get the first look at the left-hander for the Wolverines, Will Tribuker, though. This breaking ball from the left-hander Backa catches the plate for a strike. 0-2 now. Backa looking to put up the first scoreless frame for Wolverine pitching since the first inning. He comes set, and the 0-2 to Eustace. Breaking ball nubbed off near third. Legbauer ranges in to make the play. The throw to first, not in time, according to first base umpire Joel Hospica. It also is possible the throw dragged Bivens' foot off the base.
Second baseman, number 4.
It looked like the throw beat the runner Eustace from up here, but no arguments being made from the Wolverines on the field, so I'm assuming Bivens' foot did come off as he tried to field the ball. So it'll be runners at first and second now after the infield single from Laren Eustace, and Indiana once again back up to the top of the order with Tony Butler. Butler already getting his 5th plate appearance on the ball game. First pitch here misses off the inside corner, maybe a bit low for a ball. 1-0. Butler so far 0 for 3 on the day, but has himself an RBI on a fielder's choice and also reached on a hit by pitch. Both of those times he came around to score, putting his total at 17 runs scored on the year. A big swing and a miss here from Butler evens the count up at 1-1. Of course, it was Butler with the big hit yesterday, the only run of the ball game, led off that game with a home run to left center. The Hoosiers won 1-0. This time he grounds to Legbauer at third. Legbauer has some trouble fielding it, throws over to first. In time by half a step. Took a bit of a second there for first base umpire Joe Hospica to make the call, but he did rule that Legbauer, even with his difficulties fielding it, as it ate him up a bit, was able to throw over in time. So for the first inning, since the first, Indiana does not score. Despite a couple singles in the inning, the lead remains Indiana 11, Michigan 4. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Here on the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball, WCBN Sports. We had yesterday's broadcast for you here on WCBN Sports. Obviously, today's broadcast, and we'll have tomorrow's as well at noon Eastern Time. After that, Michigan goes away to Rutgers. They go to Piscataway next weekend for a 3-game series. For returning to the Wilpon Complex, Ray Fisher Stadium, at the beginning of May for a 3-game set against Ohio State. We'll have those games for you also on WCBN Sports. If you enjoy the content we put out here at WCBN Sports, we encourage you to check out our website, WCBNsports.org. All of our broadcasts gets posted on there, as well as several amazing blogs and links to podcasts, including the at one time top 3 on the iTunes sports and recreation charts, the Doc and Dunk Show, featuring Michigan basketball players Andrew Dockish, Duncan Robinson. We also have our softball podcast, East Up the Rockies, which is churning out great content on a weekly basis. I encourage you to check those out when you visit WCBNsports.org. So here in the bottom of the 6th for the Wolverines, it will be Nick Poyer to lead things off. After him is Jonathan Engelman and Jimmy Kerr. Poyer steps in there now for his first look at the right-hander Kruger, who fires one in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch now. This one's tapped on the right side. The pitcher Kruger runs over to make the play actually and shovels to first base for Gorski. A little indecision on who exactly was going to take that ball. Ended up being Kruger feeling the high hop, which might have been the only chance that Indiana had at making that play, was if Kruger had made the play. The second baseman Butler was sprinting in and wasn't going to get there in time. Poyer would have beat him to the bag, and the first baseman Gorski most likely would not have had time to get back to the bag as well. Nonetheless, though, it goes as a 1-3 ground out for Nick Poirier, and that'll bring up Jonathan Engelman with 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Engelman 2 for 2 on the day, one of the bright spots in the Wolverine order so far. A couple singles back in the 2nd and 4th innings. This time he skies one deep towards center. The center fielder Eustace ranging back. He'll make the grab just shy of the track in left center field to record the 2nd out of the inning. So some nice hard contact again from Jonathan Engelman. Just not quite hard enough, as he will be retired. And there are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, bringing up the second baseman Jimmy Kerr. Coming into the ball game, I'm sure the Wolverines did not expect Jimmy Kerr to be the leading RBI man. Wasn't expected to start any of these games in this series, but Mikhail Thomas having to leave with a hand or wrist injury yesterday. Jimmy Kerr stepping in today and has played nicely, despite a couple iffy moments in the field as he takes one outside here for ball 1. He's delivered at the plate with a big RBI double in the 2nd and a long sacrifice fly back in the 4th. 2 of the Wolverines' 4 RBIs on the day belong to Kerr, as he takes this one on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. The left-handed hitting second baseman for the Wolverines. Stint in there, and the 1-1 pitch is hit high in the air towards left field. The left fielder, Didolo, took a couple steps in, now goes back a bit, and camps under it to make the grab. So a 1-2-3 inning there recorded by Cal Kruger. We're through 6 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score still sits at Indiana 11, Michigan 4. You are listening to the WCBN broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. So it looks like it will be Austin Batka to resume duties here in the top of the 7th inning for the Wolverines on the mound. I imagine the Wolverines want to just at this point save their pitchers for tomorrow's finale should they need them. They'll try to salvage, or it appears they're going to have to try to salvage this 3-game series. They dropped last night's game by a score of 1-0 to the Hoosiers, trail 11-4 here in the 7th inning of this one. And this time around it will be Craig Didolo, Luke Miller, and Matt Lloyd, the 2-3-4 hitters in this Indiana lineup, facing Austin Batka. And really the middle of this Indiana lineup has just done a ton of damage. Craig Didolo, the leadoff hitter in the 7th inning here, is 1 for 4 on the day. The least impressive initial stat line of the 2 through 5 hitters in this lineup. That one, however, was a big 2 RBI double back in the 4th off the right field wall. He bats for the 5th time here as he bounced one over to 3rd, bounces it hard. The Lubauer charging and making the play. Not in time is the throw to 1st as Didolo legs that one out. Gets a bunt single here to lead things off in the 7th. And Indiana looking to tack on to the already enormous 7-run lead. So it'll be Luke Miller now stepping up to the plate. Nobody out, and a runner on first here in the 7th. Miller on the day 2 for 4 with a 2 RBI double and a home run already on the day. 3 RBIs in total brings his season total up to 26. First pitch he sees from Batka is fouled high and deep down the left field line and out of play. going to bring the count to no balls and 1 strike on the third baseman for the Hoosiers. Second pitch here, bounces in the dirt. Nice stop by Harrison Wenson. Brings the count to 1-1. Over at first, Didelo thought about going for a brief second, but realized that Wenson had stopped the ball, kept it in front of him in a place where he'd be able to fire down and throw Didelo out had he tried to advance. 1-1 pitch now from Batka to Miller. Big swing and a miss here. Miller went down to a knee for that one, but just barely gets a piece of it and fouls it back behind the plate and off the netting. Count now 1-2. Batka, the Wolverine left-hander, leans in for the sign, comes set with the glove at the waist. The 1-2 pitch. Time called, though, before the pitch by Miller at the plate. Just moments before the pitch, and might have ended up working out for the Wolverines. That was a fastball that missed outside, but won't go down in the scorebook as anything. So the 1-2 pitch here. This one's fouled straight back to the screen again. This one a little more on it was Miller. Just barely got a piece of it, though, and tipped it back to the screen. 1-2 remains the count. Back comes set now, and another 1-2 to Miller. So a fastball is hit high in the air towards deep center. Slater ranging over back almost near the track. He makes a leaping grab. He almost got spun around a bit. That wind now, that wasn't a factor earlier. Now swirling a little bit out there near the center field wall. Was just blowing towards right a little bit, now blowing straight out. Nonetheless, Slater was able to make the play. And there's now 1 out here in the 7th inning. That will bring up Matt Lloyd, the left-handed hitting designated hitter for the Hoosiers today. Lloyd done some damage. He had a double back in the second. First pitch he sees here from Batka is in there for a strike. Came around to score then. Back in the third, hit a solo home run. Reached on a walk in the 4th. And then the 1 out he made on the day, or apparently was an out, back in the 5th. He struck out, but ended up reaching base anyway on the drop third strike rule. So on base all 4 times he's come to the plate today. Down on the count 0-1 now here in his first look at against Austin Batka. This pitch misses low and away. A nice stop there by Wenson again to keep that one in front of him and prevent Didelo from advancing to second. Count will go to 1-1 though on the Indiana designated hitter Matt Lloyd. Lloyd with a productive day today brings his average all the way up to 333 and a 431 on base percentage. The 1-1 pitch here from Batka misses just low for a ball, brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Lloyd taking his time between pitches here, steps out of the box and stares at that bat, takes a deep breath similar to Jonathan Engelman's pre-pitch routine. He now steps in, and the 2-1 pitch from Batka bounces way in front of the plate. This ball was stopped by Wenson, but Didelo moving on the pitch. Almost looked like maybe a bit of a delayed steal, couldn't quite tell. As soon as that ball left Batka's hand, it was plummeted straight for the ground. It got maybe a little more than halfway to the plate. It allowed Didelo to move up to second on the wild pitch and goes down as a ball to run the count to 3-1 on the dangerous Matt Lloyd. 3-1 pitch here, bounces in the dirt in that right-handed batter's box there for ball 4. Another nice stop there by Wenson, but there are now 2 runners on with only 1 out here in the 7th. That'll bring up Logan Sowers, the right fielder. Sowers so far on the day 1 for 4. His one was a 2-run homer back in the 2nd. Since then it's flown out to right, grounded into a fielder's choice to end the 4th inning, and then grounded out to third in the 5th. As Harrison Winston out to the mound to talk with his junior right-hander Austin Batka. Batka seemed to really lose his control near the end of the at-bat, spiking several pitches in the dirt. No matter what the pitch was, breaking ball or fastball, just seemed to be slipping out of his hand or something. Wasn't able to find his location. And after that mound visit, it looks like head coach Eric Backage is strolling out there. He motions down to the pen, and it will not be Austin Batka to face Logan Sowers. We'll get a pitching change as the 5th Wolverine pitcher will enter the game. We'll see who's trotting in from the bullpen. Looks like the Wolverines are going to go with another left-hander, this time with Grant Royce coming out of the pen for the Wolverines. It's been a few games since Royce has been in a ball game, but he has 6 appearances on the year. He was part of a combined shutout earlier this season. On the season, he has a 3.86 ERA. Only pitched 4 2/3 innings, very much a spot man. Comes in specific situations, try to get out of innings, such as this one. In those 4 2/3 innings, he's struck out 8 and walked 5. Opponents hitting a minuscule .071 against him. He will face Logan Sowers once he finishes his warm-up tosses. Sowers, as you mentioned on the day, 1 for 4 with that big home run back in the 2nd. It appears the Wolverines emptying out the lefties in the bullpen really so far today. After the right-handed starter Ryan Newtoff and the right-handed reliever Alec Renard weren't very effective. They've gone with lefties William Tribuker and Austin Batka, and now lefty Grant Royce. Just trying to get out of this inning. Put up scoreless frames for the first time today. If Royce can manage to get out of this one. He'll come in with runners on 1st and 2nd. 1 out here in the top half of the 7th. Indiana leads by 7. They score 11-4 in favor of the Hoosiers. Really an offensive display put on by the Hoosiers today. Hitting the ball all over the yard to all parts of the yard with authority. Whether it's over the heads of the Wolverine outfielders, between the Wolverine outfielders, or finding holes in the infield. Everything Indiana's been hitting so far today just seems to be hit with velocity, and you figure when you hit the ball that hard, you're going to end up finding some holes, getting some base hits, and that's exactly what Indiana has done today. So Royce is done with his warm-up pitches now, and Sowers steps to the plate for his 5th plate appearance on the ball game. First pitch from Royce. Swung on and missed here on a big swing by Sowers. Count 0-1 now. Royce, a bit of a funky delivery. Flings that lead arm a bit as he comes around to fire. It looks wild up there. Perhaps throws the hitters off at the plate. See, 0-1 pitch now from Royce. Big swing and a miss here again from Sowers. The count now, no balls and 2 strikes on the right fielder for Indiana. Sowers steps out for a sec, takes a few warm-up hacks. Now the big right fielder steps in there at 6'5", 220. The tallest player on the Indiana roster. He takes this one inside for a ball from Royce. Brings count to 1-2. Sowers, a junior out of Lafayette, Indiana. Facing Royce, the redshirt sophomore from Bluefield Hills, Michigan, both standing at 6'5". The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss here from Royce. Gets away from the catcher, Wenson. Wenson fires out to second, and a leaping grab from Kerr prevents that one from going into center field. Both runners advanced on the play. Didelo to third. Lloyd to second as that ball trickled away from Wenson. The hitter at the plate, though, Sowers, not allowed to advance as first base was occupied. But it does go down as Royce's first strikeout of the day on the very first batter he faces. And now, looking to get out of the inning, he'll have to face Matt Gorski, the first baseman. Gorski, 2 for 4 on the day, a couple singles and a couple strikeouts. You'd imagine Grant Rice hoping for the latter here. He comes set now, and the 1-2 pitch, or rather the first pitch to the at-bat, it still says 1-2 on the scoreboard, threw me off for a second. As that one missed low and away for a ball, 1-0. Royce gets his sign, standing straight up with the ball behind his back, twirling it around in his hand. Comes set with the glove at the chest. This pitch here is offered on a check swing from Gorski. He went around, though, according to home plate umpire David Condon. Pretty easy call to make there, and that evens the count up at 1-1. Royce standing out there, gets his sign from his catcher Wenson. And the 1-1 pitch. Another check swing, did not go around as far this time, did Gorski though, so that one will go down as a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now. And the first baseman for Indiana. Lefty Royce fires to the righty here. Gorski, he hits this one high in the air to the right side. The second baseman Kerr ranging back. Right fielder England ranging in. Kerr is going to make the play here. He fields it for out number 3. So for the first time today, Wolverine pitching records consecutive scoreless innings. And that brings us to the 7th inning stretch with Indiana leading Michigan by a score of 11-4. So here's Take Me Out to the Ballgame here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Cal Kruger resuming duties on the mound for Indiana. Indiana only has used 2 pitchers on the day after Brian Hobby left in the middle of the 4th inning. It's been Kruger all the way since then, and done a nice job so far. He's got 3 innings pitched under his belt, only giving up 1 hit. And that's all to show for on the rest of his line. No runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Faced 10 batters so far. 1 over the minimum in his time on the mound. To start off the 7th here, he will face Harrison Wenson, followed by the top of the Wolverine order with Johnny Slater and Michael Berdar due up to attempt to get the Wolverines back in it here, but time is running out. Down 7 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Wenson steps up to the plate now, adjusts the helmet, and waits the first pitch from Kruger. This one's in there for a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Wenson 0 for 2 on the day. In his one look at Kruger, he grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th that ended up driving in the last run the Wolverines have scored so far today. This time he lines one into left field for a base hit. Over a leaping third baseman Miller was able to get that one into the outfield, and the leadoff single here in the 7th has the Wolverines in business with the top of the order coming up in the form of center fielder Johnny Slater. Slater perhaps cooling off a bit after a torrid weekend and torrid game against Michigan State that saw him have 2 doubles. Went 2 for 4 yesterday, or rather, went 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of strikeouts and is sitting at 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch here from Kruger is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a strike. A backdoor breaking ball there. Puts Kruger ahead on the left-handed hitting Slater. This time the ball bounces in the dirt and bounces away into the Wolverine dugout. So Harrison Wenson, who was moving as he saw that pitch get past, just gets awarded second base regardless after the ball goes out of play. So that was a wild pitch there that moves Wenson into scoring position now in the count 1-1 on Slater. Kruger comes set, and the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses just off the outside corner. Tried to do the exact same thing he got ahead with on the very first pitch of the at-bat, but couldn't quite bring it back far enough, or perhaps couldn't make it dip low enough. Count 2 balls, 1 strike. This one is hit high and foul off the left field side over the stands here and off of Yost Ice Arena. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Wolverine senior. So Kruger gets a new ball here and rubs it up before stepping on the mound. Leans in for the sign, now comes set. The 2-2 pitch to Slater. This one is hit towards the right side. It bounces up off the first baseman, Gorski. He able to make the play though as the ball skipped right near that first base bag. So just when it seems like the Indiana defense might have a lapse there, a ball that ate up Gorski on the short hop ends up taking him right to the bag as he went to recover and records the unassisted play over there for the first out of the inning. Wenson was able to move up to third on the play, but there's now 1 out in the inning and a runner on third for Michael Berdar. Berdar, similar to Slater, 0 for 3 on the day. First pitch he sees here is fouled behind the plate and over the press box for strike number 1. So far, the top of the Wolverine order, the 1-2-3 hitters of Slater, Berdar, and Lugbauer, a combined 0 for 10 on the day. Hard to win when the top of the order doesn't set the table for everyone else. Second pitch here to Berdar, bounces low and away in the dirt, evens the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Kruger gets the sign now, comes set, and the 1-1 pitch to Berdar. Misses low and away for a ball, 2-1. Feynman took a couple extra seconds there to throw that ball back, try to calm down his freshman right-hander on the mound, Kyle Kruger. 2-1 pitch now. It is grounded up the middle. Shortstop ranging over as Houston make the play, but he will not have a throw. So an infield single there for Michael Berdar. The Wolverines do play to run here in the 7th inning. The score now, Indiana 11, Michigan 5. For the Wolverines, that's just kind of what you have to settle for now, is just try to chip away at the lead. Time's running out, but if you can get 2 or 3 runs here this inning, tack on a couple in the next inning, in the 8th, there's a chance you can maybe extend this game in the 9th. Got to take it 1 run at a time, though, and it'll be Drew Lugbauer at the plate with a runner on first and 1 gone. He lines this one up the middle. Shortstop Houston makes the play to the second for 1. The relay throw in time. So a scalded ball there by Lugbauer. Hit right to Houston at short. Results in a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. So a bit of bad luck there for the Wolverines, as despite the RBI single in the inning from Michael Berdar, the Wolverines only score 1. And after 7 innings, still trail the Indiana Hoosiers by a score of 11-5. We're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And I'm Austin Felko, bringing you the action all weekend long. Yesterday I had with me colleague Jeremy Parks, and tomorrow will be Leo Blavin on the call as well. Michigan will most likely be looking to avoid being swept here at home As if the score holds here, Michigan will have dropped 2 in a row for just the second time this season. Only time they've done it so far was to open Big Ten play. They lost a couple of games at Maryland before recovering and winning the 3rd game of that series. Hoping for a similar fate here at home against the Hoosiers. It will be Grant Royce resuming duty on the mound here in the 8th inning for the Wolverines. He'll face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Hoosiers in the form of Ryan Feynman, Jeremy Houston, Laren Eustace. But so far, those 7, 8, 9 hitters, nothing to scoff at. They are 6 for 12, or rather 6 for 11 when they come up to the plate so far today, including a walk. They've reached base on 7 of the 12 times they've come to the plate. The start contracts there at the bottom of the Indiana order and the top half of the Michigan order. Normally you see that flipped around. Michigan order normally so deep, hitters all up and down, able to throw together some big crooked run innings. With the pitching staff stifling the opposing lineup. It was the other way around today though so far. As despite the 5 runs for the Wolverines, they've never really gotten close and still trailed by 6. First pitch here to Ryan Feynman is fouled over the Indiana bullpen down the right field line and brings the count to 0-1 on the catcher for the Hoosiers. Royce's 0-1 pitch here is a changeup that misses high, or perhaps a breaking ball. It didn't quite break. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Royce came on last inning in relief of Austin Batka and retired the first 2 batters he saw. This time a ground ball over to Drew Lugbauer at third. He cannot make the play on the short hop as he swings that glove, but it bounces in and out. Most likely score as an infield single there. We'll see what they say. As a runner is on now though in the form of Ryan Feynman. He reaches for the 3rd time today. Ahead of the shortstop Jeremy Houston. So it did go down as an error on Lugbauer to allow Feynman to reach. Jeremy Houston, who is 0 for 3 on the day but did draw a walk back in the 4th inning, takes the first pitch he sees from Royce on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Houston's last 2 times at the plate back in the 5th and 6th innings, frozen on a couple really nice fastballs that caught the inside corner at the knees. Second pitch here misses way outside. Wenson out of his crouch to snag that one and prevent Feynman from moving up into scoring position. Count 1-1 now though on the shortstop Houston. Royce, the left-hander, comes set, and the 1-1 pitch. This one misses off the inside corner. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Feynman over at first, you mentioned a couple innings ago. 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts this season, not really a threat to run. Grant Royce not paying much attention to him over there despite Bivens holding him on just to try to keep him close. 2-1 pitch here, it misses inside and skips past Wenson. Yet another ball that gets past Harrison Wenson, very uncharacteristically of him today to let so many balls past him. But the Wolverine pitchers really have not been able to locate all game long, and as you can tell by the 11-5 score, making the job tough on Harrison Wenson back there as Feynman moves up to second base, and there's a runner in scoring position now. 3-1 count on Houston. He hits one high in the air towards right field. Engelman ranging back. He will make the grab about 10 feet shy of the track. Tagging is Feynman. The throw all the way to third on a hop is not in time as Feynman tags up on the play. There is 1 out in the inning though on the fly out to Engelman. Runner on third with Laren Eustace coming up to the plate. Eustace on the day. You had the big bats in the middle of the order with Miller, Lloyd, and Sowers all going deep respectively. But Eustace may be the most impressive on the day. 4 for 4 in the 9 spot. Couple singles and a couple doubles to his name. Drove in his 4th run of the season and scored his 11th and 12th runs of the season. First pitch he sees here from Royce, misses high and in for a ball, 1-0. Eustace, the left-handed hitting center fielder, doesn't seem to matter if you're throwing a righty or a lefty against him. He's reached against every pitcher he's faced. He takes this pitch low and in for a ball, 2-0. His single back in the 2nd came off the starter Ryan Newtoff. His double in the 4th came off reliever Alec Renard. His double in the 5th came off of reliever William Tribuker, and his single in the 6th came off of reliever Austin Batka. So facing his 5th pitcher of the day, he takes another one that misses out of the zone for ball 3 and is now up 3-0, looking to reach against the 5th different pitcher on the day. Don't see that very often. And this pitch misses outside for a ball, so Laren Eustace having himself a day, like you said, reach 5 different times on the day against 5 different Wolverine pitchers. So now there are runners at the corners as Indiana once again cycles back up to the top of their lineup for the 6th time today. It'll be Tony Butler striding to the plate. Butler comes in at 0 for 4, but reached base on a fielder's choice and hit by pitch, so he's 0 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. First pitch here he sees from Royce, misses high for a ball, 1-0. Butler, the diminutive right-handed hitting shortstop, stands in there, and the 1-0 pitch is fouled back to the right side and out of play. Evens the count up at 1-1. You've got to imagine here that Royce would like to work down in the zone. So far these first 2 pitches missed high and that one up high in the strike zone. You can imagine Royce wants to work down here, try to get a ground ball and get out of the inning without allowing any more damage. Eustace takes off on the pitch, some bounces in the dirt. He'll slide into second without a throw. So all of a sudden the double play ball not in order as Eustace records a stolen base here. That's his 5th of the season in 8 attempts. The count now 2-1 on Butler at the plate. A couple of runners in scoring position. Royce comes set in the 2-1 pitch. This one is fouled back behind the plate again and off of the press box here. As you may have heard, evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Butler taking his time stepping back up to the plate, and Royce taking his time stepping back up on the mound. A big pitch coming here for each respective player. 2-2 pitch. This one is hit high in the air towards right field. Engelman has to go back on the ball. Now camps underneath it. Grabs, and the throw home as the runner tags at third. Feynman, the throw not in time. So a sacrifice fly there by Tony Butler. Once again, widens that Indiana lead back up after Michigan got one back in the 7th. Indiana able to tack on here in the 8th. You score Indiana 12, Michigan 5. Also on the play was Eustace moving up to third on the ball hit to deep right. So a runner on third now for Craig Didelo, the left fielder. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. First pitch here, big swing and a miss from Didelo. 0-1 the count. Didelo on the day, 2 for 5. Had himself a 2 RBI double back in the 4th off the right field wall and singled back in the 7th. He takes this pitch that misses high, evens count at 1-1. Didelo also on the day has recorded a couple strikeouts, so not quite as immortal as it seems as some of these other hitters have appeared to be today. Big swing and a miss there on the high fastball from Didelo, and that brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Royce looking to get out of the inning, only allowing 1 run here. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses low. Evens the count up at 2-2. So 2-2. 2 outs here in the 8th. Grant Royce fires. This one is hit high in the air. It's going to stay on the infield maybe, and ends up hooking back off the press box and then off the stands here, as someone has themselves a souvenir. One of these kids here made their way out to the ballpark. It looks like with a full baseball team out there. Michigan Baseball likes to run the promotions of teams get in all free together at a discounted rate. There's another 2-2 pitch here from Royce. It's a breaking ball that doesn't break, instead stays high and in. Royce ducks, or rather Didelo ducks out of the way and runs the count full, 3-2. Now the payoff pitch from Royce to Didelo. Big swing and a miss there for strike 3. So Royce able to get out of the inning, but Indiana does tack on 1 more to their lead after 7.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Indiana 12, Michigan 5. You're listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. And no doubt a disappointing outing so far from the Wolverines, as the fans have really started to file out here at Ray Fisher Stadium. We got to, based on my estimates, about maybe 60, 65, maybe up to 70% capacity at one point. Now looking down to about maybe somewhere between 30 and 40% of the stands filled. Several of them filled with spots of baseball teams. As I said, Michigan Baseball likes to run the promotion of teams get in free. So if you do have a baseball team in the area, not a bad idea to bring them out to a ball game, despite what today's results and maybe yesterday's results might have said. This is a very good Michigan baseball team, and more often than not, a very fun to watch Michigan baseball team. And looking to make it maybe just a little more fun today for the fans that made their way out will be Miles Lewis, Jake Bivens, and Nick Poirier leading things off here in the bottom of the 8th inning against a new Indiana pitcher. Just the 3rd time today Indiana has changed pitchers, or just the 3rd pitcher used today for Indiana, I should say. That'll be the junior left-hander Austin Foote coming into the game for Indiana. Foote, so far on the season, has appeared in 13 ball games and has 1 save to his name, also as part of a combined shutout earlier this year. He has a 1-0 record, a 2.93 ERA, and in just over 15 innings pitched, he struck out 16, only walked 4. So for the first time today, first time in this series, Miles Lewis flips around to bat from the right-hand side against the left-handed pitching Foote. Takes a big hack there at the first pitch he sees and comes up empty. Count now 0-1. Foote leans in there for the sign, now comes set with the glove around his stomach. And this one is lined, or rather grounded, towards second. Butler over to make the play to his left. Throws over to first to record the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down here in the 8th inning to start things off for Foote. And now he'll face the left-handed hitting first baseman, Jake Bivens. So Indiana now getting the benefit of those lefty-lefty matchups. The first pitch here to Bivens is in there for a strike on what looked to be a really good slider there from Foote. Bivens not normally a first pitch swinger anyway, but even if he swung at that one, most likely would not have been able to do a whole lot with the ball moving away from him like it did. This 1-0 pitch misses just low, and will be another sliding breaking ball there. Got to bring the count to 1-1 on Bivens. The third pitch, the at-bat misses just off the plate. Foot featuring that breaking ball so far, that sliding breaking ball. This one slides just a little too far for him and brings the count to 2-1. Bivens so far on the day, 1 for 3 with a single back in the fourth. Takes this 2-1 pitch low and in for a ball. Brings the count to 3-1. So Bivens in the driver's seat here in this at-bat. Just trying to get something started, and the Wolverines can maybe put up a crooked number here. Again, they might have a shot in the ninth at extending this thing. And there, Bivens gets clipped yet again on the season. And it would have been a walk anyway. He gets clipped for the 15th time on the year. By far leads the team, over twice as many as anyone else. So instead of just taking a walk, he'll get a nice bruise to show for it. He's on base either way, though, with 1 out here in the 8th, with the designated hitter Nick Poirier stepping up to the plate. Poirier, who has started to go a little bit cold, 2 for 3 on the day so far today. As he watches this slider from Foot miss off the plate away, 1-0. As I said, 2 for 3 so far for Poirier. He drove in his 16th run of the season back in the second inning, opened the scoring for the Wolverines. Also scored his 26th and 27th runs on the year. He fouls this one off over the stands on the left side and out of play. Just missed going in the bed of a flatbed truck over here. Or the back of a pickup truck, rather. Would have been an impressive feat there, I guess. Is the count now 1-1 on the Wolverine designated hitter. A big swing and a miss here, and a good breaking ball from Foot. Poirier thought he had that one timed up, and by the time he was swinging, that ball was no longer in the spot he expected it to be. Count 1-2 now. Another breaking ball here. This one bounces in the dirt away. Poirier does not chase and evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bivens over at first. No indication that he's going to run against the left-hander Foot. This time tapped just off the end of the bat there from Poirier. And off the Wolverine dugout, off the netting in front of the Wolverine dugout, rather. That'll even the count up, or rather, keep the count going at 2-2. Another good breaking ball there from Foot. Poirier once again out in front of it, but just able to keep that swing long enough to get a piece of it off the very tip of the bat. Another 2-2 pitch here. Another breaking ball. This one misses low and away again. And Poirier able to lay off. He runs the count full now. 3-2. Foot leaning over, dangling that left arm as he gets his sign. Now comes set at the stomach. This one is fouled back up just off to the left of where we're sitting here in the press box. Stuck out the hand, couldn't quite get there. And the count will remain 3-2 on Nick Poirier. Another payoff pitch here coming from Austin Foot. Another breaking ball, another one fouled off to the left side, off the netting this time by the Wolverine dugout. The count remains 3-2. Nick Poirier going together a nice at-bat here. The 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming when Foot comes to the plate. And here it comes. This one is lined up the middle, off the foot of Foot, and bounces to the third baseman Miller, who makes the play and throws to second to record the out and retire Bivens. Very unconventional play there. As it looks like a liner up the middle. Not sure if it would have gotten through or not, or whether it would have been a double play ball, but it bounced off the foot of Foot. He was trying to get out of the way of that one. And I guess it'll be your average everyday 1-5-4 fielder's choice on that one. With 2 outs in the inning now, and the runner still on first, this time in the form of Nick Poirier. It'll be the right fielder, Jonathan Engelman, stepping up to the plate. Engelman has hit the ball with some authority 3 times already today. A couple singles to show for it back in the 2nd and the 4th. And a long fly out back in the 6th. As he looks to come back out of his slump, get his average back over 300. It sits at 297 right now after his 2-for-3 performance so far. He fouls the first pitch he sees here from Foote back to the screen. 0-1, and looks a little bit upset with himself that he missed that one. His Foote left that one right over the middle of the plate, about belt high. He couldn't do any damage with it. Boye takes his lead, short lead off of first. Foote comes set in the 0-1 pitch. This one's hit high in the air towards right field. The right fielder Sowers ranging over near the corner, drops fair, and bounces over the wall. So unfortunately for Michigan, it looked like Boye was going to be able to score. Had that one bounced into the corner and rattled around, but instead it bounces about a foot fair on that right field line and over the wall. So Boye will have to go back to third base. Engelman, though, does get into second. There are 2 runners in scoring position now for the man who I guess so far today has been the clutchest hitter for the Wolverines, in the form of Jimmy Kerr. Just 1 for 2 on the day. That one, though, an RBI double back in the 2nd, and also tagged on a sacrifice fly in the 4th to get the job done. And unfortunately, it will not be Jimmy Kerr, though, as Michigan playing matchups now. It'll be Joe Pace taking the at-bat for Kerr, the right-hander. Pace so far, very limited action on the season. Just 6 at-bats. He has 1 hit. It was a big 3-run home run. First pitch here against the lefty Foote. Misses off the plate away for a ball, 1-0. So Michigan opting to play the matchups here, sending the righty to face the lefty Foote, as well as perhaps trying to get some power here and get this game within 4 runs should Pace be able to put one over the wall. Instead, Joe takes this ball low for ball number 2. Count 2-0, and Pace firmly in control here. Pace can reach. It'll be Harrison Wenson, the catcher, who's 1 for 3 on the day, getting his first crack at Foote. Breaking ball here, misses off the plate away again from Foote. Runs the count to 3-0. And I'd imagine here, Joe Pace taking all the way in this 3-0 count. Try to make Austin Foote come in with something. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt for ball 4. So Pace comes off the bench and works a 4-pitch walk. The bases are now loaded for the big Wolverine catcher, Harrison Wenson. And that 4-pitch walk is going to warrant a visit to the mound from the catcher, Feynman. Talk with his junior left-hander, Austin Foote. After a brief meeting there, we're going to get another visit to the mound. This one looks to be pitching coach Kyle Bunn. Earlier on, we saw Chris Lemonis go out a couple times to change pitchers and wants to talk a bit of strategy. This time, most likely strategy just to talk about how to attack Wenson. Wenson so far 1 for 3 on the day, singled last inning on the 7th, came around to score on the Michael Berdar RBI single. Also on the day, Wenson drove in a run with a fielder's choice back in the 4th. Drove in the 4th run of the game for Michigan. They've only been able to tack on that 5th run that Wenson scored last inning. Currently trails 12-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Hoosiers. But if Wenson can get a hold of one here, so it might get a little interesting. The bases are loaded, and Wenson getting a chance to face the left-handed pitching Foote. First pitch to the at-bat is going to be one to watch here. If Foote gives Wenson a fastball that he likes, Wenson can very well lift off towards left center, where the wind appears to be blowing out ever so slightly at the moment. His foot comes set here in the first pitch to Wenson. It was a fastball, but it missed low and away. The count now 1-0. Wenson would be more than happy to take a walk should that opportunity arise. And keep the line moving for the top of the Wolverine order in the form of Johnny Slater, who now stands on the on-deck circle. 1-0 pitch from foot to Wenson now. Misses outside for a ball, so that makes 6 straight balls thrown by Austin Foote. And Wenson ahead in the count, firmly in the driver's seat, 2-0. You can almost feel the tension pick up just a little bit here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Not quite a ball game yet, but again, with one swing of the bat, things could get pretty interesting. 2-0 pitch here to Wenson. Big swing there. Swenson was going for that grand slam, but came up empty against the off-speed pitch. Count now 2-1. That was a big pitch there for Foote. Had Wenson made some contact, that could have gone a long way, and had Foote missed with that pitch, it would have been in a very tough spot. This time the 3-1 pitch hit high deep left field. This ball is gone over the left field wall. Grand slam, Harrison Wenson. And hold on, folks, we've got ourselves a ball game. Michigan now trails by a score of 12-9. And what a swing by Harrison Wenson on the 2-1 pitch. All the Wolverines out of the dugout to give Harrison Wenson some high fives, and all of a sudden it's a 3-run ball game in this one, and the top of the Wolverine order stepping up to the plate in the form of Johnny Slater. What a swing of the bat from Harrison Wenson. He finally got that fastball over the heart of the plate and put it over that tall wall in left field. His 6th home run of the season. And that will be his 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th RBIs. First pitch Slater sees here from the left-hander. Foote is in there for a strike, 0-1. Foote comes set now, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, 0-2. And for Foote, important here to get Slater. It might be his last batter of the ball game if he can't. Might be his last batter of the ball game regardless. Slater, though, 0 for 4 on the day, down in the count, 0-2. Big swing and a miss there from Slater to set him down, but the big grand slam from Harrison Wenson with 2 outs in the inning. All of a sudden, this one became just that much more exciting. As everyone here now is on the edge of their seats a bit. We're headed to the 9th inning. Michigan somehow getting themselves back in this ball game. They trail Indiana by a score of 12-9. You're listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for the team. And really, I was talking about one big swing of the bat could make this interesting, and Harrison Wenson definitely delivered there. Just an absolute shot. It was more of a line drive than anything. Didn't get too far over that high left field wall, but that is a high left field wall nonetheless. And was able to toss it right over. So it looks like Joe Pace is going to stay in the game at second base after pinch hitting for Jimmy Kerr. And in the game to pitch for the Wolverines is the big right-hander Jack Bredesen. Michigan going to their 6th pitcher on the day. Bredesen, the brother of Michigan football player Ben Bredesen. Jack on the season has 10 appearances. He sits at 0-1 with a 6.48 ERA in 8 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 5, walked 4. Opponents hit .258 against him. So Bredesen now in shutdown mode and keep this one within 3 for the Wolverines, and they could have a chance to do something with the heart of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Bredesen, though, will have to face the heart of the Indiana order, the 3, 4, 5 hitters of Luke Miller, Matt Lloyd, and Logan Sowers. Bredesen crouches behind the mound and steps up there to face Luke Miller, the right-handed hitting third baseman. First pitch from Bredesen. Misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Bredesen's delivery seems extremely compact. He's a 6'6" right-hander out there. He's the sophomore out of Heartland, Wisconsin, and always crouched down. Even the delivery seems very crouched. He strides long out towards the plate before firing it away. Seems almost short on the ball when he throws it, as that one bounces in the dirt there and brings the count to 2-0. Best way to describe the delivery is funky, I guess. Comes set, and the 2-0 pitch. This is a chopper towards third. Lebauer ranging in, makes the play on the high hop, throws over to first, in time to record the out. Nice play there by Lebauer to field the high chopper, make a quick transition from glove to hand, and fire a strong throw to Bivens. More importantly, an accurate throw to Bivens, who had a nice stretch over there to record the out. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 9th inning. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Matt Lloyd. And Lloyd reaching base 5 times today. Double, homer, walk, strikeout, drop third strike, and then another walk. His 6th plate appearance today starts with a strike from Jack Bredesen, rather. Bredesen always works out of the stretch, comes set for the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there on a breaking ball. That brings the count to 0-2. Bredesen, that tight, compact breaking ball there. Looks almost like a fastball from where you're sitting, but doesn't quite come in as the same velocity as Bredesen can bring with that fastball, and kind of drops out the table. You can tell by the awkward swings from the hitters. The 0-2 pitch here skips well in front of the plate. Wenson able to get a glove on it and knock it down a bit, but ultimately does not matter. No one on base. Count 1-2 now, though, on Matt Lloyd. Bredesen gets his sign from Wenson and comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing, no swing on a ball in the dirt. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bredesen, when he gets his sign, stands very upright, shows off that 6'6" frame. Then when he comes set, crouches down, that right leg especially very crouched, the left leg stretched out in front of him. The 2-2 pitch misses off the plate away with the breaking ball. Brings the count full to 3-2. And when Bredesen comes set, he has those arms stretched out well in front of him, about stomach or waist level. The elbows are just about at the waist with the forearms outstretched and the glove out in front of him. See a payoff pitch here. Swung and hit high towards left field. Lewis ranging over towards the gap, not going to get there. Bounces off the wall on a hop. He fires in. And Lloyd is going to reach base for the 6th time today. He has himself his 2nd double. And he'll be on second with 1 out in the inning for Logan Sowers, the Indiana right fielder. So Lloyd just putting on an offensive clinic out of that 4 spot. The best hitter for Indiana. Had a double in the 2nd, a home run in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, reached on a drop third strike in the 5th, walked in the 7th, and now stands at 2nd with a double here in the 9th. Now Logan Sowers will step up to the plate for the 6th time on the day. He is 1 for 5. His one, though, was a 2-run homer back in the 2nd inning to open the scoring in the ball game, and there's been a lot of scoring in this ball game. Score currently 12-9. The first pitch Sowers sees here. He gives a check swing and fouls it off his own foot. The count's going to be 0-1 now on the Indiana right fielder. Sowers, the tall Indiana right fielder you mentioned earlier, stands at 6'5". We thought maybe the tallest combined matchup would be Sowers at 6'5" against Tribuker, who also stood up there at 6'5". Or, I'm sorry, not Tribuker. Rather, Grant Royce, who stood at 6'5", but we topped it with 1 inch here with the 6'6" Jack Bredesen on the mound. Righty fires the 0-1 pitch from line deep towards center. Slater moving back. He's going to have room, though. Makes the grab. Lloyd not tagging on the play as he runs back to second. And a long, loud out there. But an out nonetheless. And there are now 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
The first baseman, Matt Gorski.
So with 2 outs and a runner on second in the form of Matt Lloyd, it'll be the first baseman, Matt Gorski, stepping up to the plate. Gorski, 2 for 5 on the day, singled a couple times, struck out a couple times, and also popped out in his last at-bat back in the 7th inning. First pitch he sees from Jack Bredesen here. Misses high for a ball, 1-0. Bredesen's big issue has been control, the reason for his ERA that currently sits at an even 6 after recording a couple outs. The breaking ball here, though, is commanded beautifully and dropped in there for a strike, 1-1. It really is that fastball command that tends to escape Bredesen at times and leads to him getting up some runs. When you can't locate the fastball, a lot of times your pitcher will not have success. This one is bounced over to third. Lebauer makes the play, throws over to first. Bivens scoops it to record the 3rd out of the inning. So here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning now, and after Harrison Wenson made this a 3-run ball game in the 8th, Michigan will have a chance to at least extend this one just a little bit farther. They currently trail by 3 in the middle of the 9th inning. Score is 12-9 in favor of Indiana. You're listening to the official student broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. I'm Austin Falco, hoping to bring you an exciting end to this one. It would be an almost improbable comeback should Michigan be able to do something here. Down 7 as recently as last inning, the bottom of the 8th inning. All of a sudden, within 3. If they want to keep this game going, though, they're going to have to face the Indiana closer, or the pitcher coming in to close things out for Indiana, Cade Crisco. Crisco's appeared in 8 games this season, holds a 1-0 record and a 2.25 ERA. In just 12 innings pitched, he struck out a whopping 16 batters, only walked 3, and opponents are hitting .260 against him. He has given up a home run and 3 doubles on the season, so Wolverines possibly with the potential for some extra base hits, but have to avoid that strikeout as he has those gaudy strikeout numbers. Not normally the recipe for getting a rally going, are those strikeouts. Here in the bottom of the 9th, it will be the Wolverines 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Michael Berdar, Drew Lugbauer, and Miles Lewis. Just trying to make this game go a little bit longer. The leadoff hitter in the inning, Berdar, currently sits at 1 for 4 on the day. Flew out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, rounded out in the 5th, so completed the trifecta there before an RBI single in the 7th. Was his 29th RBI of the season. And right now he just needs to get on base here for the Wolverines if they want to try to get themselves back even here and avoid dropping the 2nd straight game to start this series. Crisco works from the windup, and the first pitch here to Berdar bounces in the dirt on the breaking ball. Count 1-0. Second pitch from Crisco now is a changeup, it looks like, that is in there for a strike on the outside corner. Brings the count to 1-1. Righty on righty, Berdar waits. The 1-1 pitch misses low and in for a ball, 2-1. It looks like another changeup there. I'm not quite sure what Crisco tops out at velocity-wise, but these last 2 pitches come in around 83, 84. This one comes in at 84, and Berdar hits this one high and deep towards left center field. Center field Eustace going back near the track, makes the grab just shy of the warning track. So Berdar gave that one a ride, but a long out Wolverines now only have 2 left to work with Drew Lugbauer stepping up to the plate. Lugbauer, a very unsuccessful day at the plate so far, 0 for 4. A couple of strikeouts looking back in the first and third respectively, and rounded into a inning-ending double play back in the 7th. Time is called at the plate by the catcher Feynman as the Indiana head coach Chris Lemonis appears to be walking out to the home plate umpire David Condon. Looks like maybe a double switch or something coming here. He brought out his score sheet. And that does appear to be what's going on. As he motions down to the pen. So it was Cade Crisco doing his job. The right-hander retired the right-handed hitting Michael Berdar. And it'll bring in number 14 now, it appears, or rather, there is no number 14 on Indiana. Got the number wrong on that one. Get the name and number for you in just a second when we get that reported to us. The Indiana player on the mound is wearing number 14, but there's no number 14 listed on our roster sheet. The only number 14 is Matt Lloyd out in the field.
Now pitching for Indiana, number 14, Matt Lloyd.
And it turns out it actually will be Matt Lloyd. He's the normally designated hitter. He's been the designated hitter all day, and he will indeed come into the ball game. So the designated hitter coming around to pitch now. Lloyd mentioned his amazing day at the plate so far today. He is the closer for Indiana. He's appeared in 10 games, has 3 saves, a record of 2-1 with a 2.16 ERA. In 16 2/3 innings, he struck out 11 and walked 3. Batters hit .250 against him. So it looks like Cade Crisco is really a holdover, as Matt Lloyd was on the bases to end that last inning. Couldn't quite warm up, so he ran down there between innings and got warm, got the extra batter to get warm. And he'll be in the game to pitch now, trying to shut down the Wolverines. First batter he'll face is Drew Lugbauer, followed by Miles Lewis, and if Wolverines can extend this thing just a little bit more, it'll be Jake Bivens. So the closer and designated hitter Matt Lloyd is ready on the mound, and the Wolverine third baseman Drew Lugbauer steps up to the plate. Lugbauer is trying to get something started here with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Michigan trails Indiana by a score of 12-9. First pitch from Lloyd, big swing and grounded to the right side. Gorski down to it, he can make the play. He's up with it and takes it to himself to the bag, unassisted for out number 2. The Wolverines now down to their final out, and that'll be in the form of Miles Lewis. Lewis 2 for 4 on the day. A couple singles back in the 2nd and 5th innings. Also was robbed by Gorski back in the 3rd on a diving stab on a line drive that looked to be ticketed for the right field corner. Represents the last chance for the Wolverines here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch from Lloyd. Catches the inside corner as Lewis danced out of the way a bit of that one, but according to home plate umpire David Condon, it did catch the corner. 0-1 the count. Lloyd comes set now, always works out of the set, or out of the stretch rather, and this pitch misses low and away. Bounces off the glove of Feynman behind the plate. Count evened up now at 1 ball and 1 strike on the left fielder for the Wolverines. Lloyd stands out there, arm dangling. Now gets his sign, comes set around the waist with the arms outstretched. And this pitch is hit high and foul over the stands on the left side and out of play. And now the Wolverines down to their final strike. 1-2. 2 outs here, bottom of the 9th inning. Wolverines trail by 3. Lewis stands in there, taps the plate a couple times, waves that bat in front of him. Now awaits the 1-2 pitch from Matt Lloyd. Here it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Matt Lloyd comes in and shuts the door, and Indiana escapes with another win in this series. They win the series and will go for the sweep tomorrow after taking this one by a final score of 12-9. Your final line score: Indiana scored 12 runs on 16 hits and did not commit an error. Michigan, meanwhile, scored 9 runs on 12 hits and committed 1 error. So an extremely different game than we saw yesterday with a 1-0 score. This was much more high scoring, but Indiana comes out with a win regardless. Really impressive job by their lineup all the way up and down. Just any Wolverine pitcher that came in there did not have a chance. Your official pitchers of record: Kruger for Indiana gets the win. He's 1-1 on the season now. Ryan Newtoff takes the loss. He sits at 4-2, and the 4th save of the season accredited to Matt Lloyd. So once again, the final score here at Michigan Stadium, or not Michigan Stadium, rather, final score here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Michigan drops the second game of this series by a score of 12-9 to Indiana. You've been listening to WCBN's broadcast of Michigan Baseball. We thank you for tuning in and hope you join us again tomorrow for the 3rd game of the series. Michigan tries to salvage this one as a noon Eastern time start. But for tonight, we will leave you with a good night, and as always, a Go Blue.